Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the first part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. It's been a long way, I know, but I just can't wait to put this What If out for you guys. I never would have thought that this What If would have been so much fun to make, and I'm happy that I did it, and I'm also thankful that you guys suggested for me to do it. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get to the video.
One time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
There isn't much that happens before this, however Goku as a child will get power spikes during the heat of battle. The only times this occurred is with King Piccolo, TN and the RR base, which is short for Red Ribbon base. With King Piccolo his power reached as high as 1000 and with TN it reached past 800, this is much higher than anything he's ever experienced. Also his power slightly increases and only continues to increase even more as he continues his strenuous training. This What If starts in the middle of the Frieza saga. His power level is about 5 million. When he uses Kaioken times 20 it actually puts him far above 50% Frieza, but it's not for long so he can only gain the advantage for a short while. It's also very taxing on his body, so he isn't able to tap into so much power from the jump. Once Krillin dies, Goku gets completely overwhelmed by rage and fury. His power level starts to rise and the people around him can feel it wildly rising. The rocks around them float as his ki increases in power. His hair rises as he struggles to contain the power coursing through his veins. His main muscles enlarge and therefore make him more vascular, however streams of green energy start to form. The ground beneath him cracks under the pressurizing ki. His hair stays raised and his pupils burst during the transformation. His muscles then start to enlarge far more than the ordinary Super Saiyan form. This intimidates Frieza far more and makes him freeze in action. He's almost never seen someone become so powerful. He killed many millions to stop this very thing from happening, but it seems to have happened before his very eyes. His hair lights up in an emerald green and he roars, releasing an abundance of harsh and violent energy. Frieza falls back another step and Goku turns, showing off his white and fearsome eyes. Goku is much larger than normal from the form. I wouldn't say he looks like Broly or anything, but is probably around the size of base Broly from Dragon Ball Super Broly. Maybe a little smaller, but also much shorter since he just isn't that tall. Also, you could say that this form is a mix of Super Saiyan and the Wrathful form. There are many different multipliers, but I'll just make it 500 times to follow this theory. There isn't real evidence to form an actual multiplier, so in my perspective it seems like the most plausible. This means that he has a power level of 2.5 billion. This is far more than enough to take down the Mad Tyrant. Frieza bursts out after his built up fear and tries to remove the obvious threat. Goku just grabs his fist and pulls it down slowly. His completely white eyes strike far more fear into Frieza than the piercing blue eyes of Super Saiyan. His eyes showed intimidation, but this was truly fearsome. Goku punches him once and he crashes right through an entire rock wall, then ki condenses into his right palm similar to Broly's ki blast and he releases it directly ahead. Once it hits Frieza, it shreds part of his body and causes a massive explosion. To follow, he throws a bunch of these ki blasts into the open area, destroying Frieza in the process. Once the blast died down, Frieza is revealed on his last leg. Blood covers his entire body and he struggles to even keep his arms up. In rage, he powers up to the buff 100% form, but this is still nowhere near enough to combat the legendary Super Saiyan. Goku roars into the sky and his aura bursts out also. He flies forwards and Frieza believes that he can handle his next attack. He catches his powerful punch, but both of his arms snap and he's launched into the air. Goku then soars across the sky and spin kicks him further up into the air. This snaps 3 ribs on impact and propels the buff tyrant more than 15 meters away. After this, the legendary Super Saiyan just goes berserk on Frieza. He releases powerful ki blasts and throws vicious punches and kicks that cause unbelievable damage. He has completely lost control and Frieza's demise is less than a minute away. All of his limbs are broken, so all he can do is fly around in unbearable agony and try and save himself. He hasn't even had enough time to destroy the planet and is far too invested in actually keeping himself alive. Goku grabs his broken arm and spin throws him into the air, both of his hands cloaking green ki as they form condensed ki blasts in both palms. His aura is fierce and pressurizing as it causes large waves below him in the water. Thunder roars above him and lightning strikes down next to him. Frieza mindlessly spins up as he is far too weak to keep himself steady. If everyone just left him now, he would die. However, Goku has lost far too much control to even consider this alternative. He has to die. His arms jerk out as he releases an attack similar to Broly's double eraser cannon. Frieza gets engulfed by the blast and is inevitably vaporized in it. Every part of his body is turned into bits of tissue and flesh floating in the abyss of space. Goku lands back on the rock beneath him and his hair drops down. It also falls back into its normal black state as he falls down onto the ground next to him. After exerting himself that much, he is exhausted. He can't even really remember what he did. Piccolo tries to explain it to him, but it's hard for Goku to comprehend since he can't remember a thing and is just stupid anyway. Also, since the planet isn't literally about to explode, they are able to get off the planet with the help of Frieza's old ship. At the beginning of the Trunks saga, Frieza doesn't arrive, but instead nobody but future Trunks does. The Z Fighters have been on Earth for a year since they didn't stop off at Planet Yardrat like Goku did. Goku is about twice as strong as his Kaioken himself when it comes to his base. He has no access to Super Saiyan but is able to go into Kaioken times 20 and still be somewhat functional after. Vegeta is the only one, certainly proudly, to have the power of the Super Saiyan. Goku doesn't have control of this form and only has gained glimpses of its ultimate power. Also, when fighting, his power can skyrocket and even rival his power if he had Super Saiyan. This is when he uses Kaioken, of course. Also, when he uses LSSJ for even just a second or two, he can reach levels of power so unbelievably high that it is almost unbelievable to his companions. Trunks arrives and starts by wanting to test Goku. Alright Goku, let's go, use Super Saiyan. Goku kinda shrugs and scratches the back of his head, saying, I can't really do that. Trunks closes his eyes and randomly starts shouting. His power level rises from a suppressed 5 and raises all the way up to his normal Super Saiyan power. Goku is amazed by the power he showcases and wonders if the form he used is actually this one. I can't do that, but I can do this. He begins using Kaioken times 20 and his orange gi flows under the intense aura of Kaioken. Flies right towards Trunks and lands the starting punch, which knocks Trunks far off course. While he flies back, he unsheathes his sword and tries to swing down from an attack. Goku dodges right past the swing and kicks him into the air. Trunks is surprised by the power that he has without even being a Super Saiyan and realizes the things that have changed. First of all, everyone was already here. Also, Goku doesn't have Super Saiyan but seems to be just as strong. Even if he did, it's certainly peculiar. They clash and Goku throws 2 power punches before kicking him several meters away. As Trunks starts trying to fly back to him, Goku extends out with a simple energy blast. Trunks slices it in half with ease and Goku also falls out with his powerful Kaioken. Trunks speed blitzes him and knocks him right onto his back. Trunks falls out of Super Saiyan and just wonders what's going on. If you're looking for the Super Saiyan, I'm the one to be looking for, Saiyan, Vegeta declares, stepping forward in his goofy pink shirt. What's his father wearing? Trunks mutters under his own breath. Vegeta engulfs in the raging ki of Super Saiyan and gets stronger by 50-fold. He then flies right towards Trunks and flip slams him into the ground. Trunks soars into the air then hurls down his sword. Vegeta slaps it away and increases his speed to catch up with Trunks. They both punch each other simultaneously then throw their bunch of attacks. Vegeta is clearly the one with superior power and he manages to break apart his opponent with powerful skilled attacks. Vegeta ducks under a punch and lands 2 gut punches before striking up with a close-up ki blast. As Trunks' head knocks up, Vegeta grabs him by the legs and powerfully slams him into the ground. Vegeta follows by leaping up and hurling down a large ki blast from above his head. A ball of condensed and destructive energy explodes and is basically a much weaker version of the Big Bang attack. This isn't exactly an attack unique to Vegeta, but it's just a big ki blast. Trunks stands with his torn and burnt clothing, clearly showing his loss by falling back into his base form. Vegeta lands ahead of him and also falls out of Super Saiyan. How dare you claim to be a Super Saiyan with such weakness, boy. Vegeta proudly declares, standing firm against his opponent. Trunks feels immense pain throughout his body. Vegeta might not have had much experience with this form, but he has much more power without any transformation stacked onto him. Trunks informs Goku of the 3-year training period they need to use to fight the incoming androids. Since Goku is a legendary Super Saiyan, he likely has a higher ability to gain power than even an ordinary Super Saiyan. During this training, Gohan has also showed signs of amazing power. He has the rage of his canon self, but it's amplified even further. Many believe he has somehow inherited the abilities of his father. Luckily, Goku can tap into his legendary Super Saiyan form and keep minor control. However, he doesn't remember much and finds it hard to talk or listen to people when they try and talk to him. He kind of transcends into a kill mode. Here are the rankings for the fighters. Goku is first by quite a huge margin. Even in his base, he can pretty much take out all of his companions. Next is Vegeta. He might not be the legendary Super Saiyan, but he is a Saiyan royal with amazing training willpower, having the unshakable will to try and go stronger than Goku. Next is Gohan. Gohan has amazing ability and is actually closing in on Vegeta. He is close to Super Saiyan but just isn't quite there yet. At times, his power level can raise past Vegeta in short bursts. Next is Piccolo. I believe that he would fuse with Kami beforehand because of the highly strong Saiyans. The Saiyans in this what if far exceed their canon counterparts and the only person who is similar is Vegeta. Gohan is actually close to his base power, but since he isn't a Super Saiyan, he just can't compare to him in combat. He doesn't even have Kaioken either. As he fuses with Kami, this places him close to the three Saiyans and gives him an extra sense of calmness. He isn't just drenched in evil, but he isn't just omnibenevolent. Next are the humans. They are pretty much the same as canon: Tien, Krillin and Yamcha. Now, these Saiyans are ready to face the powerful androids. I'd say that Gohan is around 90% the strength of canon Goku's strength. This makes him very formidable for his age. They meet up after 3 years and they all look very different. Gohan has actually cut his hair so he has shorter hair length and he looks bigger. Once they meet, they feel people's life force disappearing in the city of Sasebo. However, they can't sense the culprit. Goku looks down and everyone looks to him to do something. While looking down the high rock hill, he raises off his feet and says, "Let's search." They all fly down into the city and spread out to try and find the androids. Goku lands on the ground and actually feels a direct line of people losing life force. He flies over a building, then lands in front of the two androids. "You'll pay for what you've done," Goku declares powerfully. "Let's fight away from here. There's too many innocent people." Android 20 steps forward and his eyes glow red. "Allow me to clear them out for you." He then laser beams all the human life and life in general in close proximity. This infuriates Goku and makes him want to kill these androids. He can barely contain himself. Even in his base, his power skyrockets and he becomes about twice as strong just off a power boost. He flies across the street and clashes right into Android 20. This makes him slide back a little, but he's able to punch him into the air with ease and launch out several ki blasts. Many of them land on Goku and tear apart his clothes. Dr. Gero then points to the distance and says, "Let's go there." Both him and Android 19 soar off into the distance. The rest of the Z fighters then follow after him. Once Goku lands in front of the androids, he is the only one of the fighters that are panting. It's odd since he is the strongest of the fighters, being tired out the easiest. He steps forward ahead of his companions and prepares to battle. His hair rustles under the breeze and he starts to power up. The ground below him cracks and his muscles enlarge, his eyes glow blue, then he transforms into a Super Saiyan as his hair brightens out to gold. He has both forms, Vegeta questions angrily. The Super Saiyan steps forward powerfully and unleashes his devastating aura. This makes the androids cower away, but Goku doesn't let them in the slightest. Once they turn to try and leave, Goku almost appears in front of them from his amazing speed and kicks Dr. Gero into the air. He throws a ki blast into 19 and swivel kicks him away, finishing with a one-arm energy wave. This burns the rocky surface below it and forces 19 more than 10 meters away. As Dr. Gero dives down for an attack of his own, Goku soars into the air to dodge it. The ground caves in under the Doctor's amazing power, but Goku is doing just fine. In the fit of rage, Dr. Gero releases a massive double hand energy wave into the sky. It's very fast, but Goku is just about able to swerve out of the way to dodge the attack. The edge of the beam just about misses his back but scorches his clothing. He acrobatically lands from flight but then gets punched by 19. It makes him slide back and actually gives him a bruise. His breathing is heavy and the group can't understand what's happening. How could Goku ever lose to these people? Goku stands and notices his power slowly dwindling. It feels as if his power is a flame and drops of rain are starting to collect overhead. His power is slowly fading, so he tries to power up to rekindle that flame. However, nothing really changes. His aura is light and small, being unimpressive for all spectators. He flies towards 19 and throws out a powerful punch. 19 slides back but flips and kicks him into the air. Finally, he launches up a ki blast that jerks Goku's head back. Once this happens, 19 almost blurs behind him from his talented speed and grasps onto him, sucking out his ki. His hair drops right out of Super Saiyan, but his power starts to spike. His hair raises once again, but this time he taps into Kaioken times 20. The powerful aura pushes 19 off him, then he turns and elbows him to the ground. In one final attack, he musters all his strength and begins charging his ultimate attack. Waves of energy and wind emit from his body as the ball of blue energy grows within his two palms. 19 is wedged deep into rock right now and has to use his strong aura to break free. Goku roars as he lets free the powerful beam of blue energy, and once it comes into contact with the android, his body is vaporized and destroyed. Once his Kaioken fades, his body falls lifelessly from the sky. Dr. Gero sees this and is petrified. Since when was Goku able to exert this much force and cause so much damage? He prepared years for this, but this android was destroyed so easily. Nevertheless, these aren't the androids he was planning to pit against the fearsome Saiyan. Goku is quickly helped with the senzu bean, but his virus doesn't disappear. He is still weak and his ki signature displays his fact clearly. The Z fighters can literally sense the weakness in his body. Dr. Gero faces him and says, "Oh well, you might have taken out one of my androids, but watch what I have left in store for you all. You will pay for this," Gohan mutters while looking at the ground. "Oh, what's wrong? Scared, boy? You don't know what you're up against, Saiyan," he declares, staring at the slouched over boy. However, Gohan raises his head and reveals light blue eyes. "You'll pay for this." So that will conclude the opening part of What If Goku Was the Legendary Super Saiyan. This was so much fun to make. It's always fun going back to Dragon Ball Z for what ifs. Please like the video for the algorithm and tell me what you liked about it in the comments. Also say anything that you think I should improve on for the next part. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here and today we're going to be doing the second part. What if Goku was the legendary Super Saiyan? I just want to thank all of you for the support on the first part. It did really well. At the end of the day, the community post poll to decide my next Dragon Ball What If was a mass majority for this What If, so I know that you guys will really like it. Please like this video for the algorithm and tell me something that you liked about the video once you finish watching it. There's nothing much I also want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
One in time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay? I had cocaine in the school.
Gohan stares at his opponent with glaring blue eyes. His aura erupts and glows a pure silver. While looking up, his aura starts to become unstable and light up. His short hair raises slightly and his muscles enlarge. In one powerful roar, his true power is released and his hair switches to a glistening gold. His new aura is immense and fierce. His cold blue eyes also strike fear right into Dr. Gero's artificial heart. Everyone actually feels that his power is similar to that of Goku's, which is surprising yet not at the same time. He is his son after all. Gohan flies right to Dr. Gero and clashes forearms with him. The cybernetic android slides back and digs his feet into the ground to try and stay sturdy. However, it is useless and he is simply blasted away. Gohan throws in a close-up ki blast and throws out a one-hand energy wave. This forces Dr. Gero airborne and also several meters away. Gohan then beams into the air and punches Gero's chin so hard that it crushes into his upper head parts. In one final combo, Gohan throws a left hook, swivel throws Gero down to the ground and shouts Super Masenko as he launches down the energetic but also highly destructive blast down towards him. The group see the blast coming and readily fly right out of the way to evade its damages. The blast connects with the ground and literally forms an explosion so large that it seems larger than even a nuclear bomb. Dr. Gero is completely destroyed and taken care of. Gohan falls right out of Super Saiyan, but it isn't as taxing on his body. To be honest, he's pretty much fine. The group believe they have beat the androids and rejoice together. Piccolo simply flies off to continue training with Mr. Popo and the rest just begin to leave to their own places. However, future Trunks arrives and says, "Did you get them?" Gohan nods and points to both the metal corpses, kinda. "These aren't the androids," he shouts, before toning it down near the end to stop being awkward and weird. "The androids I know are two, one blonde girl and a black-haired boy. They might even be designed to be siblings by how similar they look." Krillin shakes his shiny, bold head before just saying, we didn't see any androids like that. They look kinda human, but they were definitely not identical to humans at all." Trunks just grunts in annoyance and says, "Well, we have to look for them. Let's go searching for them." The old android looked in exactly that direction before he wanted to fly there. "We should focus our attention to that thick collection of rocks over there," Vegeta smartly deduces. Goku is taken home by Yamcha and the rest fly in that direction in search for the androids. Everyone lags behind while Vegeta shows off his Super Saiyan form and races ahead of the rest. He swiftly flows through the dips and gaps, trying to look for the androids. Everyone wants to find them to destroy them, but Vegeta has a different plan. After a good 30 minutes of searching, the lab is found. It's quite secretive and small, almost blending into the surroundings. The only thing to tell that it's a lab is the random silver wall located in the midst of orange stone. They all land and Vegeta soon arrives too. Trunks turns into a Super Saiyan and raises his arm. "Let's blow this place to smithereens." "I've had a change of plans, boy," Vegeta declares, turning back to the group. He drops spontaneously but strikes up into Trunks' stomach and his hair falls back, reverting to its normal purple. Gohan, who is quite scared of Vegeta due to his demeanor, stumbles forward and tries to stop Vegeta. "Stop this," he pleads. Vegeta swats him like a fly through a rock pile and releases a wave of ki blasts that force the Z fighters to evade and escape. The surrounding rocks shatter and fall from the sky like rain, leaving thin trails of smoke behind them. Vegeta places his palm on the door and it blasts off with a single push. Once he starts searching through the advanced lab, he stumbles upon a large device. Approaching the chamber, he sees a black square that he places such device on. Both chambers open and the androids are activated. Their eyes blast open as they stare at Vegeta. Still in the Super Saiyan form, he says, "Listen, pieces of scraps, I activated you for a worthy battle, so let's fight to the death." 18 chuckles while looking back at 17 before saying, "So be it, Vegeta." She emphasizes the Vegeta part and seriously surprises him. In one punch, the Super Saiyan is sent flying right out of the lab and 17 fires out a few ki blasts of his own. Vegeta uses all of his speed to try and dodge these attacks coming for him, but he gets chipped by one. Whilst he violently spins, he is slammed to the ground by 18. He soars through the gaps in the rock and gets completely blasted through one tall tower of rock. 18 and 17 then collectively shoot down an energy wave that combines and amplifies greatly in its destructive capabilities. As the energy wave hurls down and destroys anything in its path, Vegeta charges up his Big Bang attack. Once the beam of ki is in close proximity, Vegeta flies back powerfully while the blast is launched. Both attacks connect and release heaps of violent ki and power. Vegeta is left moderately injured, but the two androids are better than ever. No, I won't stand for this. Two pieces of junk can't defeat the Prince of all Saiyans, the Super Saiyan. He mutters to himself, trembling against these fighters. Vegeta screams and releases his aura while racing directly towards 18. They clash, but he gets flipped right over a knee in the stomach. She then unleashes several powerful punches that break him apart completely. Every hit leaves him with a large bruise or snaps a bone entirely. It slowly knocks him down and then his arm is crushed by a swinging kick. He flips and swings around from the hit before being crushed by the knees of 17. They both fly down to the ground and he is kept planted beneath his knees. Seeing the ground incoming, the Saiyan Prince tries ever so hard to let go from this android's tight grasp. However, it is useless. In seconds, he is slammed into the ground, and as this happens, he lets out a very violent and blood-curdling scream. He falls out of Super Saiyan and is just left completely broken. The Prince of all Saiyans has been broken down to this level. 17 raises his hand and says, "You are a fighter, Vegeta, but you aren't stronger than us androids." The ki blast grows in his open palm and he says this, and Vegeta's eyes slowly begin to shut. He can barely move, and these people who are more than 50 times stronger than him right now are keeping him locked in. However, a ki blast comes soaring in and slams into 17. "Leave him alone," Gohan shouts as he flies from the sky. Trunks and Piccolo follow, with Trunks leaving his golden trail behind him. Gohan slams into 17 but gets punched in the gut and swatted. Both Trunks and Piccolo interrogate 18 and Trunks swings down his sword, literally cracking open a large crevice in the ground with a strike. Piccolo punches 18 in the face, but she simply moves back against the hit. Speedily she pushes off his feet and launches a ki blast into his body before punching him back. While turning back, she grabs Trunks' sword and breaks it with ease. Finishing off, she punches him in the face, knees him in the chest, and elbows him away. "Saiyan, stand back! I think I have enough power to defeat them," Piccolo claims, while taking off his weighted clothing. Gohan blocks 2 incoming punches before swinging 17 away and shooting a point-blank Super Masenko. This attack engulfs the android and hurls him into the sky, giving him minor bruises and burns to his clothes. "What do you mean?" "Kaioken times 5, he shouts, erupting in a red aura. As of now, Piccolo is about 80% the strength of Vegeta, so around equal to canon Super Saiyan Vegeta. With Kaioken times 5, he's 5 times stronger than him and more than enough to handle the androids. Piccolo punches 17 and his fist literally goes right through him. To finish, he uppercuts him into the sky and throws up 2 powerful ki blasts. He blurs upwards, leaving a red trail of ki, then grabs 17's arm. With a powerful spin, he throws down the android and he pummels 18 after slamming into her. "Kaioken Light Grenade!" A golden ball of energy grows in his palms and he shouts, "Keep them occupied and run when I say." The clouds above collect together and darken. Lightning strikes next to the fighters and they begin the battle. With 17 pretty much out of commission, 18 has to fight both Saiyans. Gohan and Trunks both form their signature attacks, and the irrational android simply flies right at the two. They both say their attacks, but once they hear each other's attack, they simultaneously shout, "Super Burning Masenko!" The orange-yellow beam hurls at 18 and slams into her powerfully. She is forced to catch the large orange ball of energy ahead of herself to stop getting seriously injured. And to be honest, it's all she can do to stop getting overwhelmed and potentially destroyed. "Move!" Both Gohan and Trunks zoom away and grab Vegeta in the process. The light grenade is hurled down from Piccolo's steaming palms, and 18, who is moderately injured from the Saiyan signature attack combo, gets engulfed in the powerful explosion, and the entire area is covered by the bright light of the light grenade. Both androids are caught in the explosion and destroyed once it hits the ground. Once the ground is revealed, there's a deep and crackling crater with steam emitting off of its surface. Piccolo falls out of Kaioken and actually seems quite okay. Gohan and Trunks arrive back with a now healed Vegeta. His body is healed, but his clothes are still torn and dirty. "What was that trick you pulled, Namekian?" he asks, annoyed from the fact that he has displayed superior strength to his own. "It's called Kaioken. You've seen it before, Vegeta," he claims, not paying much attention to Vegeta's breaking ego. Once Piccolo lands on the floor, he feels a decrease in life force from a city in the distance. "I must go," Piccolo mutters before blasting away into the distance. He eventually arrives at Ginger Town and takes a quick glance from an aerial view. As of now, nothing too suspicious seems to be happening. It's just a decrease in life force, but once he pinpoints it, he can see a weird green dot walking through the streets of the city. Once he arrives on the ground of the city, Cell faces him directly. "Hey Piccolo," he states jokingly, wafting around his lizard-like tail. "How do you know my name?" Piccolo asks demandingly, preparing for battle. "Well, I'm the life form that's reduced these beings to nothing but cloth across the entire city. Who else?" This ticks off Piccolo and he goes right into Kaioken. After this, he zooms towards Cell and punches him away. While he slides back, he throws up a ki blast and launches a one-hand energy wave. Cell manages to knock the one ki blast away with a backhand and gets slammed into by the energy. It causes some damage, but he's able to spin right out of the way and prevent extensive damage. However, he gets impaled in the chest by the special beam cannon. Piccolo swings up and flies towards Cell with a left uppercut. He strikes him away with a right elbow, then punch, but then gets punched with the same arm. To finish off, Piccolo kicks him away with a side kick and cracks one of his ribs. Cell stumbles back from the literal hole in his chest and tries to hold the wound closed. While doing so, his open wound fills with healthy flesh and blood. Cell notices the urgency of the situation and tries to leave immediately. "Solar Flare!" he shouts as Piccolo is blinded by the attack. Cell takes to the skies and flies away as fast as he possibly can. Piccolo, left stunned, falls out of Kaioken and just falls to a knee. The flare felt as if his eyes were being poked by red-hot metal rods. Luckily, he is strong enough to combat Cell and he has no androids to try and absorb. At least that's what he thinks. Cell sees Gohan and Trunks flying in the distance but notices that they are in their base forms. Once he gets close enough, he grabs both of them simultaneously and launches them down to the ground with just pushing force alone. To finish, he uses powerful beams of energy before leaving into the clouds and distance. Both Saiyans fall right after the powerful hit and have their clothes slowly rustle as they drop. Vegeta just lands ahead both of them and is disgusted. How are they able to fall apart so easily? What even was that green thing flying in the sky? Vegeta has so many questions but has something more important on his mind. He has to surpass his limits. To achieve this, he reaches in and Trunks thinks he will help both of them, but he grabs his arm and flies off into the distance. Trunks, while dangling by just his arm, asks, "Where are we going?" with his purple hair flowing under pressuring air. Vegeta flies in his Super Saiyan form to increase his speed and doesn't reply for a few good seconds. He doesn't even let his eyes off of what's ahead of him. "We're training to surpass that Namekian," he shouts, arriving at Kami's lookout after passing Korin's tower. They both arrive there. Mr. Popo reluctantly lets him go in. He understands the motive, but he can almost sense the evil from Vegeta's demeanor. He seems dark and evil like a murderer. However, Trunks is much more bubbly and likable, so it helps in getting them both into the chamber. The Saiyans and fighters group up at the same lookout to see how to combat the new threat. However, this is possibly the worst thing that he can do. While they are atop the lookout, Cell is searching for the androids and finds their metal remains on the ground. Through the remains, he sees two large cells that are still active. These are their infinite power cores. With both in his hand, he laughs maniacally and never thought his task would be this easy. He simply absorbs these cores and releases masses of large waves of energy. Dark clouds cover the sky above him and lightning strikes directly next to him. His body clicks and a fortified shield and his body starts to drastically change. After a few more seconds of transformation, he fully transforms into his perfect Cell form. His aura is rich and powerful, emitting waves of pressure and ki. As the transformation finishes, Piccolo and the group sense a humongous ki signature from below. Piccolo senses it the strongest and is clearly concerned. Is that Cell? There's no way he could have got that strong of just absorbing humans. His power jumped in seconds alone. How did he get so powerful? Goku replies in shock. Both Piccolo and Goku stand forward as they prepare to face a powerful fighter. They are the strongest of the Z-Warriors, and with Piccolo's Kaioken times 20, he can output power that far surpasses even Goku's. However, Goku in his legendary Super Saiyan form is something else. They just have to hope that Goku can pull the form off after being healed by Trunks and his medicine. He has tried to ascend to the legendary Super Saiyan form before this encounter, but he could just never pull it off. It's just due to the fact that he feels a little off from being healed from the medicine after getting the heart virus. They both blast off the lookout and both Vegeta and Trunks train hard to overcome their limits. Goku and Piccolo land in front of the large green monster and prepare for battle. Goku makes his battle stance and says, "I'll go first," while slightly pointing his head in the direction of Piccolo. "Hello, Namekian," Cell states, raising two fingers and using his own attack against him. He immediately gets stabbed by the powerful beam and falls lifelessly to the ground. Goku quickly heals him with a Senzu beam and powers up into his Super Saiyan form. "You'll pay for that," Goku shouts, soaring across the battlefield to then bash into Cell. He blocks and doesn't even budge in the slightest. He throws another punch, but Cell swerves and attacks with a perfect kick. He goes flying back but slams his palms into the tough rock below to slow his speed. Piccolo, now completely healed, is fearful of this being's power. He looks so much different to when he saw him. He seems stronger, more perfect. "Don't take me for some regular old fighter, Saiyan. I'm much stronger than you can imagine." So that will conclude the second part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. This part was really fun to make and I can't wait for you guys to see what I've got in store for you for the Dragon Ball Super parts to this What If. I have finished Dragon Ball Super, so this What If is going to go till the last chapter of Dragon Ball Super that is out right now. I believe that's the arc with Granola and Gas. I'm not going to reveal any further details to not give you guys any spoilers. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next
guys,
video.
this is Anime Ball Z here and today we're going to be doing the third part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. This What If has been amazing to script and I'm already on my 7th part to the scripting. It's just really fun always coming back to Dragon Ball to do a what if for you guys. There's not so much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Goku powers up to the maximum and lets his aura roar and flash around him. His clothes flow and ripple under his golden aura, then he blasts off directly to Cell. He launches out a ki blast that creates some smoke and blinds Cell. This allows him to leap into such smoke with a kick and land it head on. Cell gets knocked back and blocks an overhead punch. Goku follows with 3 punches that the Green Warrior is able to block before being dazed by another close-up ki blast. Goku finishes off with a double drop kick that slams him several meters away, then follows with several ki blasts that Cell doesn't even try to resist. Once the smoke dies down, Cell is revealed in tip-top shape. Do you think a few ki blasts is all it takes to defeat me? Cell is cut off abruptly by a charging Kamehameha from Goku. He launches the attack and it soars across the battlefield at high speed. Cell catches the attack and actually slides back a few good centimeters. However, he just flies over the blast and floors the Saiyan with a dropping kick. As Goku tries to reach back up for a punch, Cell dodges and liver punches him so hard that he is knocked right out of Super Saiyan. You are a tough match, Saiyan, but I am the perfect life form, Cell declares as Goku drops to the ground. Cell raises his palm to disintegrate the powerful Saiyan with an energy wave that Piccolo powers up into his amazing Kaioken x20 form. He removes his weighted clothing and zooms at Cell. His speed even surprises Cell and his punch causes even more surprise. Cell slides back then is met by 2 strong blows, one to the head and one to the chest. Piccolo then kicks him in the stomach and knees him in the head so hard that blood spews out into the sky. Piccolo then knocks him back with a left hook and a swiveling kick to his neck. Once he lands, Cell takes a glimpse of his extraordinary muscle mass right now. His body is just much larger and powerful compared to his past physique. Piccolo follows with several attacks that Cell is just unable to block and is forced to take. A bunch of his purple blood is spurted everywhere and he is left weak and frail. Piccolo finishes off with a special beam cannon to his chest and a one-hand energy wave. Cell gets hit directly by the 2 attacks, and once the smoke blows away, he is revealed to be very weakened and injured. Piccolo falls out of the Kaioken form and falls to 1 in exhaustion. The only reason he was able to use this level of Kaioken was because of his much superior power level to Goku. The actual technique was the hardest bit for him, not the stress. If you think about it, Goku was learning this technique at a power level of 416. Piccolo's power level is way past the millions right now. Hundreds of millions even. Cell begins healing and uses Piccolo's own power against him. Oh, you actually got me there. I never would have thought you'd be stronger than the Saiyan back there. Oh well, time to kill you both. Cell almost teleports in front of Piccolo from his immense speed and gut punches him incredibly hard. This hit knocks the wind right out of Piccolo and shakily drops him to his knees. Cell then flies out of frail Goku and slams him into the ground with incredible force. Cell just turns and begins walking away. Both fighters are left on the brink of death, but Piccolo is just about able to wake up and slowly crawl to the Saiyan. He eventually rummages through his pocket and eats a Senzu Bean to fully heal himself. With his new strength, he gives the last Senzu Bean to Goku. As they both look up, Cell says, "Here I will start the Cell games. By tomorrow, bring your strongest warriors to face me. Bring everyone along to entertain me." Cell has built the large arena and he simply waits for the fighters to come along. By the next day, Vegeta and Trunks both emerge from the time chamber. Trunks has long hair like in canon and Vegeta's hair is exactly the same since he's a full-blooded Saiyan. Vegeta has gained both grade 2 and 3 alongside a different form, a better form. Super Saiyan 2. Right now, I'd assume that Vegeta is around 70% the strength of Goku in the Cell games. With Super Saiyan 2, this means that he's 40% stronger than him and a very strong competitor to Perfect Cell. Also, Trunks is actually stronger than him. Due to Vegeta's stronger will and willpower, he was a much better competitor to his son and actually made him advance more. He's around 50% his strength but only has grade 3 like in canon. Piccolo and Gohan enter the hyperbolic time chamber while Goku stays out. He believes that he can get into his powerful form and even fight Perfect Cell. However, Vegeta is first up against a powerful bio-android. The 3 arrive at the Cell games and Cell has waited patiently. "We're here to face you, Cell," Gohan declares with wind blowing across his hair and gi. Vegeta takes a step past Goku and hops onto the arena floor. "I will be your first and only combatant, Cell." He clenches his fists and powers up into his Super Saiyan grade 2 form. The aura is immense and powerful, but this isn't his peak abilities. "Shall we begin, Prince of All Saiyan?" Cell remarks, making a regal pose. Vegeta zooms across the battlefield and slams into Cell with all his might. The slam surprises him as he actually slides back a little. However, he punches back and follows with 2 more strikes that just completely lay out on Vegeta. He is clearly injured and can't really defend against his superhuman speed. Cell punches him directly in the sternum and switches around for a key blast with his right palm. The smoke appears around the Saiyan and Cell thinks he has won. It seems so, but Vegeta is revealed, still standing and ready to fight. Did you genuinely think this was the limit of a Saiyan prince? Oh please, allow me to demonstrate the true and ascended power of the Super Saiyan. Electricity starts to crackle across his body and his aura intensifies. The ground rumbles under his power and he fully transforms into the Super Saiyan 2 form. Electricity crackles around his body and he has now reached his limit. Vegeta is around 40% stronger than Goku's Super Saiyan form, so it's likely something like 30% stronger than Gohan's Super Saiyan form. We know that Gohan surpassed Goku in the Cell games, but we don't know how far he surpassed him. This should make him quite a formidable opponent for the bio-android. Vegeta soars across the battlefield with his new speed and clashes with Cell. He swings up with an uppercut, then 2 power strikes that Cell is forced to block with his forearm. Swiftly he swerves under one of the Saiyan Prince's hooks, the elbow, and kick him several meters away. He then launches out a charged ki blast that Vegeta just about manages to dodge. Vegeta zooms down and punches the ground so hard that he creates a crater. This show of strength intimidates Cell quite a bit and makes him more wary of his own movements. Vegeta then grows a blue energy blast in his palm before jerking it forward. Super big bang attack. The large ball around half the height of himself in diameter gets hurled at Cell and explodes on impact with his green skin. The explosion is large and actually inflicts significant damage to both of Cell's arms. Also, his ribs are visible from his flesh being shredded and scorched off. However, he uses Piccolo's regenerative ability to return to normal and somewhat full strength. You never want to just die, do you? Vegeta shouts in irritation. The battle continues and Vegeta rushes back to throw his next attack. The back and forth goes on for quite a long time, but Vegeta's stamina drain is clearly more than Cell's. He's quite new to this form, and even with that, the form is just naturally draining. Eventually, Vegeta gets punched back and Goku grabs him. It's time that I jump in now. Vegeta is very annoyed, but he knows that he is done. Stamina is almost fully gone and he just wants to get a break and hopefully jump in later. Goku's pupils burst and his hair rises, his muscles enlarge significantly and his key signature skyrockets. His green aura forms and his hair follows that very same colour. His transformation is complete and he fully transforms into his legendary Super Saiyan form. Goku is probably weaker than Vegeta after all of his training, but this powerful form accounts for that completely. Goku doesn't speak any words and simply stares down his opponent. Cell believes that he can still beat him and flies in to kick him. There is no movement whatsoever and he is stopped in his tracks. Goku throws 3 blows to Cell and the last one leaves him winded. He then spin kicks him airborne before launching up several ki blasts that land on the bio-android precisely. In a flash, Goku is behind the bio-android and kicks him down to the ground. Once he lands, fear strikes every nerve in his body. He has met someone who is superior to himself. Far superior. Goku's blank eyes can be seen from far and he mindlessly dives down to his enemy. Cell manages to block the incoming knee but still gets sent back several meters and kicked into the air. To follow, Goku punches him in the stomach and lands an uppercut to the chin. He goes flying, flipping around violently and droplets of blood scatter everywhere. Finally, Goku raises one arm and grows a large ki blast in his palm. It grows to around the size of his body and flies off to Cell. He tends to witness it approaching him, but it is already too late. He gets hit by a powerful blast and engulfs in the violent explosion. Every cell of his is destroyed to the point of no return. He is completely destroyed and Goku just drops his arm. Threat neutralized, Goku mutters in a cold tone before walking back to Vegeta. His hair falls back down and he reverts to his base form, having destroyed Cell. The threat to Earth is destroyed from Goku's overwhelming power as the strongest Saiyan on the planet. Vegeta is shocked by his power and stands as he approaches him. He trains so hard only for him to still be so far away. Is this how it will always be? How could the prince fall to such a state? Many thoughts like this cloud his mind, but at the end of the day, everyone is able to survive and are pretty much fine. Just to add, Trunks is born far earlier than in canon and so is Goten. They are both born in the 3 years in the training for the androids. This means by the start of the Buu Saga, they will already be 10 years old. By the start of the Buu Saga, Goku is far stronger. After Gohan and Piccolo emerged from the hyperbolic time chamber, he decided that he wanted to enter too, so he entered with Gohan again, and this means Gohan is 1 year older physically. So by the Buu Saga, he is physically a year older than in canon and looks a little older. Also, he has gained true control of Super Saiyan and uses Grade 4. I'd say that he has inherited the power spikes from Goku, but not the entire form since there is supposed to be just one legendary Super Saiyan. Goku can use Super Saiyan 2 and also the legendary Super Saiyan form and keep most control. His power growth ability also means that he is more than 3 times stronger than Vegeta in their bases. Gohan has also surpassed Vegeta and is around 50% stronger than him. Piccolo has managed to get Kaioken times 50, but he hasn't been able to keep up with the likes of the Saiyans since he is just a Namekian. Goku is able to spend more time with Gohan and has actually been trained already. This is the same for Trunks. This means that they don't need extra training before the World Tournament begins and they are already ready. Goten are Super Saiyan and Trunks does too. Gohan, due to Goku's stronger Saiyan instincts, would carry on fighting and have the thrill of fighting from his father. The constant power spikes and boosts makes it even more motivating to hone in on his abilities. The Junior Division gets dominated by Goten and Trunks, who are older and stronger than their canon selves. When I mean stronger, I mean much stronger. Since Gohan was around 11 at the time of fighting Cell and Goten is 10 at this age too, he is going to be weaker but not by much. Trunks spars with him frequently and has been getting a few training sessions with his father too, so he is around his strength. When I mean around his strength, I mean around Goten's strength, not Vegeta's. They both face each other and Trunks prepares for battle. "You won't beat me now, Goten," he claims, making a stance similar to his father's. Goten does the same and says, "You sure? I got some training with Gohan." Trunks scoffs and they both power up into their Super Saiyan forms. Trunks smirks and mutters, "Let's take this up a notch, Goten." Trunks demands, preparing to ascend past his form. They both power up and their muscles enlarge past the ordinary size of a child's and they go into Super Saiyan Grade 2. They then charge towards each other and their punches clash. Trunks is forced backwards and is surprised by his overall strength. Goten lands a kick to his stomach, then a close-up ki blast before jumping down and trying to slam Trunks. However, he is able to race up airborne and dodge the attack. He's stronger now, Trunks notices in surprise. Goten launches a one-hand energy wave towards his opponent, but Trunks flies right over the blast and knees him in the forehead. Then Trunks throws 3 more blows to his forearms and then a kick to the same area. Goten is able to take all 4 hits and keep somewhat collected. They cause him pain and damage, but nothing much. Both fighters zoom towards each other and their forearms clash, vibrating the air and arena around them. The adult fighters stand from the impact force and are shocked by the strength that they are able to output. How could they be this strong? This reminds me of the power of the androids in Cell, Goku shouts in awe, leaning his head in to watch the battle. The fight continues and Goten is able to gain the upper hand. His training with Gohan and his greater abilities to get stronger makes him a better overall fighter than Trunks. However, his opponent has amazing will and annoyance from always losing to Goten. He always seems to be stronger, and if he feels stronger, he just gets a power boost when angry. After such hard training and work with his father, he can't disappoint him or himself. He has to push past his limits. Goten knees him in the stomach before elbowing and punching him down to the bottom of the arena. Once he lands, he powers up to the maximum and releases waves of intense ki. His ki signature rises and he screams, desperately trying to reach past his form. His rage and willpower overwhelms himself, and after a few good seconds, he transforms into an ascended Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2. Electricity crackles around his body and Goten is surprised by his power that he can sense. He might have actually surpassed him. Trunks with a straight face flies up to Goten and kicks him away. He flies behind him and then lands 2 punches to his back before spinning him around and kneeing him in the sternum. To finish, he fiercely strikes his opponent down and uses his father's Gallic Gun attack. Goten gets hit head on by the attack and slammed into the grey squared arena below. Such arena floor cracks and breaks under the power of the purple energy wave, and Trunks floods every bit of power he can into the attack. Once done, the smoke slowly blows away and a shirtless Goten is revealed with ripping muscles and bleeding skin. He is left panting and injured, surprised by Trunks' ability. However, he looks weird. He looks mad. Trunks believes that he is just seconds from victory, but his power rises wildly. The fighters sense this and Goten releases a mass of dangerous energy. "I won't lose, Trunks," he shouts, looking up towards the fighter right overhead. The fighters close in on each other and fall into close combat. Goten actually has superior strength and speed to Trunks, with much more ferocity too. Goten swing kicks Trunks across the sky, then launches several ki blasts ahead of himself. Trunks leaves himself open for a punch to the stomach and he is then swivel thrown into the ground. Left severely injured and weak, he gets engulfed by the blast of Goten's strong Super Kamehameha. Goten is left the winner and his power falls back to ordinary levels. He falls out of Super Saiyan and is quite tired, dropping down to simply walk off the floor as the winner. So that will conclude the third part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. Please like the videos, it really helps with the algorithm, and tell me something that you liked about the video, or something that I should improve on for the next part to make this What If as great as possible. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.
It's Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the 4th part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. Please like, as it really helps with the algorithm, and once you finish the video, please tell me something that you liked about the video, or something that I can improve on for the next part to make this What If as great as possible. There's something that Charleston wants to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get to the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Krillin vs Pintago is pretty much the same, so does Piccolo's and Vidal's. Gohan doesn't feel as bad for Vidal since he doesn't try as hard or care about it in school in general, but he still feels bad for her. Gohan's fight is where things start to change. He did train her though, so that makes him gain some more sympathy. Kibito demands for him to transform into a Super Saiyan as in canon, and Gohan goes into Super Saiyan 2. However, his overall power is far more than in canon, I'd say many times more. He gets attacked by Spopovich and Yamu, who both fly off with his higher amount of energy. Goku, Vegeta, Krillin and Piccolo follow after him, and Goku clearly has much more speed than the rest. He actually transforms into a Super Saiyan and actually starts to close the gap between him and the two fighters. However, they randomly dip down and the Saiyans lose track of them. Once this happens, they look around and actually find a spaceship. Goku is the first to step up, and then Dabura appears and launches Spit towards the fighters behind him. Goku flies backwards and actually flies faster than the Spit to grab Piccolo out of the way. Next, he shoves Krillin out of the way of the Spit and then powers up into a Super Saiyan form once again. Vegeta roars and transforms into a Super Saiyan 2 form, being 66% the strength of Goku now. Both Saiyans approach Dabura and kick him away. Vegeta flies above Goku and throws down two strong ki blasts, but both are slapped away by the demon. Goku clashes with him and swiftly evades his spit before landing two kicks to his stomach and an uppercut to his chin. The impact force of this hit certainly surprises Dabura and leaves him heavily injured. Vegeta then slams into him and kicks him twice, once in the chest and once in the head. Finally, Goku releases his charge-up Kamehameha and Dabura gets completely subdued in the wave of energy. Both Super Saiyans surprise Shin and Kibito, who have just arrived. Gohan, however, isn't surprised at all and is used to seeing these two display alarming levels of skill and power. The fighters have to subdue the different fighters at the different levels of the spaceship, and Vegeta is first against Pui Pui. Pui Pui believes that he has the advantage with 10 times gravity, but Vegeta feels nothing at all. He simply raises his hand and releases masses of ki ahead, destroying Pui Pui in the blast. Next, Goku is up against Yakon. He powers up into a Super Saiyan form, and the amount of energy he emits now is enough to make the Green Beast explode already. Since there is no final level of the spaceship with Dabura being already defeated, Babidi is forced to take over Vegeta as they try and reach the final level. He is still subdued by the magic and he becomes Majin Vegeta. His power boost makes him around twice as strong, so Goku is only a third stronger than him now. Vegeta still destroys part of the tournament as in canon twice and forces Goku to face him. Luckily, Goku still has his powerful legendary Super Saiyan form, but Vegeta has also ascended past his past top form. They both face each other and Vegeta just smirks as wind blows against him. Kakarot, while you've been training with your family and resting, I've been relentlessly pushing past our Saiyan limits. I've gone a step further and this form is stronger than yours. He claims powerfully, revealing his aura. He starts screaming and transforms into Super Saiyan 2. However, he continues growing past the limit and his hair starts to grow. His aura is violent and much more intense than anything he has ever showed. He hasn't even showed this form to Trunks. He continues powering up and manages to completely transform into his Super Saiyan 3 form. As of now, he is 800 times stronger than his base before he was Majin and is definitely stronger than Goku in his base. However, Goku's form's multiplier is 500 times. Goku transforms into the legendary Super Saiyan form and faces his opponent with no pupils at all. Vegeta, stop this, he shouts, trying to persuade Vegeta out of the battle. Simple words won't stop me, Kakarot. I have much more power than ever before, he states, showing off his new power and flying towards Goku. Since Goku is 1/3 stronger than Vegeta, he is over 50% stronger than Vegeta, even in this new form of his. Vegeta throws several punches as he flies forwards, but Goku is able to dodge multiple of these hits. Next, he kicks Vegeta in the side and throws 3 more punches and he finishes off with a powerful ki blast. Vegeta forces his eyes shut and reflex and gets completely winded by a kick to the gut in his stomach. He slides away and wheezes after the attack lands. Goku then throws several more vicious punches that just destroys Vegeta. Also, this form lacks the ability to keep his stamina, so he's slowly getting more tired as he tries to land punches on Goku. Luckily, he lands a punch and a close-up ki blast, finishing off with a double hand energy wave. However, Goku doesn't seem that injured. How could he still be this strong? How could he still be above him after all the training? Even his son was able to beat his son. How is he always behind? Thoughts like these rush around Vegeta's mind and he explodes with rage and energy. He flies towards Goku and lands a precise punch that catches him off guard. He then throws 2 kicks that Goku has to fully try to block to stop getting seriously hurt. Vegeta then soars up and shouts, "Hyper Gallic Gun!" throwing down a purple energy wave with streaks of golden energy around and in it. Goku gets hit by the blast and actually gets significantly injured. He is forced to release a massive destructive ki from his body in an energy shield to try and protect himself. After his shirt completely rips off, he is able to keep himself from getting injured even more. The blast dies down and Vegeta slams into the shield with all his force. With one hit, the shield is disbanded and destroyed on impact. Following this, Vegeta just throws several attacks that Goku actually has to try and evade and dodge. Although the Super Saiyan 3 form isn't meant for this long-term attack, His stamina steadily depletes and he is also getting weaker as he throws a sluggish punch. Goku swivels under his punch and strikes his ribs. Finally, a ki blast grows in his open palm and he slams such ki blast right into his chest. Once the explosion is released, Vegeta gets significantly injured and put down. On top of that, his power continues to deplete and he's probably half as strong now. He's even able to land some hits to Vegeta and he finally lands a double eraser cannon. Once the smoke dies down, Vegeta reverts into a Super Saiyan 2 form and Goku lands one punch to his stomach that literally forces him into his base form. His body trembles under the weight of the hit and Vegeta flops to the ground from the power of the punch. Goku is more calm in this form, but one feature is that he cares for people less in the heat of battle. Goku pulls up and slams down, subduing Vegeta in the process. He is left practically lifeless like a corpse, wheezing and inhaling raspy chunks of air for a breath. The Saiyan Prince looks up to see Goku revert back to his normal form and he says, "How? Don't drown in training, Vegeta. Live with others, with friends. If you don't surpass me, that's fine. If you do, even better. But just know that I'll be trying my very hardest too to stop you." Through the true will of Vegeta's mind, he stands and forces the influence of Babidi out from his body and he reverts back to his ordinary self again. Once he does this, he drops to a knee and is quite exhausted. Vegeta doesn't have the strength to muster an apology, but at the end of the day, he has had a change of mind. Vegeta and Goku stand looking across the rocky landscape surrounding them and they both begin flying to the location of the other fighters. Unluckily, the massive energy they released from their transformations and fight was just enough to reawake the powerful Majin Buu. Steam is released and the beast collects from the gas. Gohan is stood there and also Shin. However, Vegeta and Goku arrive right after and all three Saiyans step up to face the villain. Gohan begins transforming and he reaches his full Super Saiyan 2 form. Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan 3 using the last of his stamina. Their golden and green auras rage and scatter around the arena while Buu is just kinda laughing and just not paying attention to the power they display. Gohan takes the lead and flies ahead both of the fighters, colliding with his forearm and then swinging at his stomach. However, the force from his punch kind of just spreads through his body and just decreases overall. Buu does fall back a little, but it doesn't cause all that much impact. Then Gohan throws 3 more punches that actually damages the pink fighter quite a bit. Out of nowhere, Vegeta spins down with a spinning kick. His hair flicks around wildly as he lands his hit. On impact, Buu's entire body gets knocked to the ground in a split second. The ground caves in under his amazing force and some of his stomach gets ruptured and destroyed. However, he fully regenerates. Buu kicks Vegeta off his feet and he stops his fall by going into flight. However, Buu releases a powerful Saiyan energy wave that engulfs Vegeta. Once the smoke clears away, the breeze slowly flows across Vegeta, who is totally unharmed. After this, all Vegeta can do is give off a smirk. "This thing is so weak, I can get rid of it alone," Vegeta states boldly. Preparing to face the regenerative warrior, he raises both hands and releases masses of blue ki blasts that hit Buu almost every single time. To follow, Vegeta blows through the smoke and kicks him in the side of the body, finishing off with 2 strong blows to his head. Once he pulls back his arms, 2 blue ki blasts grow in his arms. Air rushes and almost circulates around his intense aura. The electricity surrounding his body increases in amount and intensity too. With ferocity, he shouts double hyper big bang attack, releasing the 2 powerful collections of ki and power. As they crash and pull along the rock, such rock gets destroyed and heated considerably. Both blasts smash into Majin Buu and explode on impact. Buu gets very injured and destroyed in the blast. The smoke clears and Buu is finished. His body is just broken apart and left to heal. However, Vegeta lets off several ki blasts to destroy the remaining parts of the fighter. Once he blows away the splotches and parts laying around, he rushes the injured Buu and punches him in the ribs. As Buu throws a sluggish punch, Vegeta slips past the hit and hooks him in the liver as well. After these attacks, he throws 2 straight punches and spins around from a heel kick to his jaw. Buu falls back a few meters and begins the full healing process. However, Goku releases an eraser cannon and vaporizes the fighter on impact. "He was my kill, Kakarot," Vegeta shouts, berating Goku from a distance. "Well, he looked like he was going to heal," Goku replies, putting up his hands in reaction. Both Goku and Gohan fall out of their powerful forms and Vegeta drops to his knees as he falls out of Super Saiyan 3. The threat of Buu is neutralized much before any other interference is required from the other fighters. Also, Shin and Kibita are elated to see how the Saiyans were able to deal with this fighter so quickly and efficiently. Soon after, Babidi is dealt with by both Kibito and Shin quite easily. Time passes and the rest of the fighters train on their own. Goten and Trunks carry on their training and Goku actually teaches them the Metamorian fusion technique out of just being bored and wanting to give a gift to the kids. I would say that Goku learns the Metamorian fusion from going in a pursuit to find other techniques in the other world. He didn't actually die in the Cell Cycle like he did in canon, so he wouldn't have learned the Metamorian fusion if he didn't go out of his way to go to the other world. After learning this, the two friends gain more motivation to train and surpass each other. Also, Gohan has been keeping up with his training and has actually transformed into Super Saiyan once before, however he can't tap into the form at will. While Goku is training in a deserted area with Goten and Trunks, someone appears in between them both. There is a skinny purple cat and a tall blue person with white hair, Whis and Beerus. Which one of you is the Super Saiyan God? Beerus asks firmly, looking directly at Goku since he's the only adult there. I don't know of any Super Saiyan God, but I'm a Saiyan, Goku replies, pointing to himself in the process. Who are you anyway? Trunks asks rudely, looking up and down at Beerus, who clearly has an unimpressive physique. Hush boy, Beerus states, raising his palm and preparing to destroy Trunks. However, Goku quickly gains his attention back and shouts, wait, maybe I am one, you can fight me and find out. Maybe I will, Beerus says while turning, displaying a smirk across his face. Goku speeds ahead and goes into punch, but Beerus almost teleports away from the hit and seems unharmed. Is this the limits of your power, he mutters, clearly bored and unimpressed. Actually no, I've ascended past my tough limit and I have found a new transformation. I call it Green Super Saiyan 2. Goku begins powering up and goes into Super Saiyan 2. After this he continues powering up and his aura slowly turns into shades of green. Following this, his aura fully shifts into a green hue and his hair does the same. His pupils burst as he roars and releases masses of destructive and powerful ki. Both Goten and Trunks watch from a distance as even they are so intrigued about the incoming battle. You are much stronger now, I can feel it, Beerus claims, making a sound of his own. Goku soars towards him and throws two punches that Beerus weaves past swiftly. To follow, he throws his own punch that knocks Goku back several meters. It leaves him winded and barely able to keep himself standing. Nevertheless, he powers up once again and rushes right back into battle. As he approaches the purple god, he throws out a ki blast that is simply swatted. As he clashes into him, there is no movement and instead Goku himself is the one being blasted away completely. While being knocked back, Beerus throws two more punches of his own, with the last one dropping Goku on impact. Even with this, Goku is ready for more. He stands and lets out the unwavering rage within. His muscles enlarge and he reaches his true limit. Beerus somehow isn't phased at all. As Goku almost appears in front of the god, one powerful punch to his chest is all that's required to knock him right out of his powerful form and launch him right into the sky. Sadly, you are not the Super Saiyan god I was looking for. Now your planet will be destroyed. Beerus flies up and raises his palm, growing a ball of purple destruction ki. However, before the blast gets too large, someone shouts from behind, "We can find the Super Saiyan god that you want. Give us time." Beerus turns and actually smiles for the first time in his whole encounter. Vegeta the 4th, you survived. Vegeta has a strong face of boldness and firmness, but on the inside he is quaking and trembling in fear. This is the man who absolutely humbled his father and left him with an unforgettable, saddening moment in his mind. The group go on to summon Shenron and everything goes the same until Goku is set to become the Super Saiyan God. Goku is the one to become the Super Saiyan God and Gohan is still having a baby with Videl. He might not be taking studies as serious, but he still goes to school after all. Goku becomes the Super Saiyan God and slowly floats down in front of the God of Destruction, Beerus. So this is the Super Saiyan God I've wanted to battle, shall we? Many remarks are made about his slimmer physique and bright red hair. Let's go, Goku says happily, making a sound of his own. Goku blasts off towards Beerus and collides with his forearm. Beerus pulls back and speeds off, leaving a glowing purple aura. Goku then hurls several ki blasts ahead, all being dodged by Beerus. He drops while repeatedly flipping forwards and launches upwards, surprising Goku with his speed. Beerus strikes down with a punch, but Goku is able to block and simply gets slid back. Beerus swings again, but Goku is able to dodge and kick him in the stomach as hard as he can. This launches him tens of meters away, but he kinda lets it happen. Beerus is heavily suppressing himself after all. Goku chucks down a large red ball of ki, but Beerus swiftly kicks it into the water below him. This ball of ki violently explodes and releases masses of water around them. Goku laughs and says, "This feels amazing." Of course it does. You have the power of a god now, Beerus states, flying off to Goku. However, Goku throws two punches as he approaches him. Beerus then retaliates with a punch then a kick to clear some distance. Beerus then showcases some more of his strength and shoots Goku in the ground with a swinging kick. While Goku is underwater, Beerus dives right in and launches a ki blast into the water. Once it explodes, the water surrounding Goku just gets backed away and Goku is actually able to get another breath and blast up. "How am I doing, Beerus?" Goku asks jokingly, having a slight pant to his breath. Beerus seems quite unimpressed, but also not the slightest bit tired. "You are doing okay." So that will conclude the fourth part of What If Goku Was the Legendary Super Saiyan. This was really fun to make, especially doing the first fight of Dragon Ball Super. And I think that's the first Dragon Ball Super part I've ever done on this channel as a whole. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the fifth part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. I think I'm scripting part 9 right now, so I am well ahead of the parts that I'm currently uploading.
Since the longest part of the video is done and dusted, I will probably be able to upload this what if way more frequently. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
One time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Beerus almost teleports to Goku and punches him in the sternum, literally giving off the sound of a bomb. Goku was propelled several meters away and is just completely broken. Following this, Beerus reaches out and punches him in the stomach. This following punch almost puts Goku out of his form entirely. It makes him shaky and truly weak. Beerus then grabs his wrist and throws him into the sky. Goku tries to stop himself, but he just carries on flipping and flailing around in the air. After this, Beerus flies right past him and literally reaches the edges of the atmosphere. Goku sees this and kinda just follows after him, feeling the air thin as it brushes past his body. The sky also gets darker and darker until Goku is quite close to Beerus. Unluckily, he sees a large purple ball of energy growing above Beerus' head. Sadly, you and your god form has ceased to fully entertain me. You will now perish alongside your planet, Beerus declares, with no sign of second thoughts in this powerful voice. Goku sees the growing ball of ki and the other fighters below him could even sense it and see it. Goku believes that he can't hold that attack at the power that he's at now, so he decides to try and push his body to the maximum. The godlike Saiyan roars and starts releasing as much power as he possibly can. His aura gets extremely large and he reaches the maximum power output that he can reach in that form. Somehow his power spikes and raises past this limit that he has. His aura gains a few weird trickles of green ki and eventually the ki becomes a nice blend between bright reds and pure greens. Beerus squints and raises a brow at the power that he's using. Was he holding back against me the whole time, Beerus asks, being quite annoyed at the fact that Goku could be taking him for a joke. The two opposing colours eventually mix and form a rich brown. His red pupils burst and his hair turns into that same colour. Goku lets out a final shout as he fully transforms into his new god form. Legendary Super Saiyan God. A mix between Super Saiyan God and the Ikari form for multipliers means that Goku is now 10 times stronger. Some sources claim that Super Saiyan Blue is 5 times Super Saiyan God, but even if it is supposed to be 10 times, Legendary Super Saiyan God form will be equal or weaker than Super Saiyan Blue in this canon. It just doesn't really feel right putting this new form over Super Saiyan Blue, since Super Saiyan Blue seems to be far superior to that of Super Saiyan God. Also, it is a safe assumption to make since we don't actually know the multiplier for Super Saiyan Blue. Beerus chucks down the ball of ki, but Goku in a blind rage lets out a powerful double eraser cannon. This cannon is brown-red in colour and is the strongest energy wave Goku has ever unleashed. It slams into the blast, and since Goku is more than 10 times his canon self in strength, the entire ball is destroyed. He falls out of Super Saiyan God and is left in his base form. Whis arrives next to Beerus and says, "You've had your fun, Beerus, let's go." Beerus nods and says, "Goku, you are not weak. I don't know what you pulled off at the end there, but that was beyond my abysmally low expectations." Goku can do nothing but smile as they both blast into the distance. For this what if, I will keep a good mix between the manga and the anime. I won't cut out any arcs that are in the anime that aren't exactly in the manga, like the movies, but filler won't be in this what if. Also, I will be keeping things such as perfected Super Saiyan Blue and omitting things like God Essence Goku from the anime. Any arc in both anime and manga will be covered as it goes in the manga since I read the manga. Time passes and both Goku and Vegeta get to train under Whis. The angel perceives Goku's unstable ki signature and insane potential and is more than eager to take him under his wing. He is also surprised by the willpower of Vegeta to surpass Goku. As of now, Goku is more than 5 times stronger than Vegeta in his base, and Vegeta is around twice as strong as his canon self. This is due to his much stronger willpower and also having a stronger sparring partner. This means he gets injured more Zenkais and all of that. Frieza and his soldiers land on Earth and fight the Z fighters who are on the planet. Through tough training, Goten and Trunks are way stronger and also older than their canon selves. They have a more teen-like physique, resembling Gohan after he left from the hyperbolic time chamber in canon with his father. This was in the Cell Saga just before Goku and Gohan fought Perfect Cell. Also, they are hybrid Saiyans and have so much potential in general. Goten is around 30% the strength of Gohan and Trunks is 25%, however when they fuse they become very strong. When the two see the soldiers ahead, they fuse into the mighty Gotenks for the first time in a long while. Also, it's the first time they've ever used them in battle. I present to you Gotenks, now I present to you buff Super Gotenks. Gotenks transforms into Super Saiyan Grade 2, then blasts off to the soldiers ahead. He launches several ki blasts ahead of himself and kills more than 100 in this one series of blasts alone. Gotenks then spin dives down and kills a soldier with a simple swinging kick before zooming upwards and killing another with a punch. The fusion then goes from soldier to soldier with absolutely amazing strength, surprising the likes of even Frieza and just reducing the soldiers to nothing but fodder. Piccolo is there too and is also helping. He uses Kaioken times 20 then charges up the light grenade. Many soldiers come close to him to try and dismantle him, but he releases a powerful attack and destroys the close-up soldiers with ease. The soldiers are handled in mere minutes and are mainly taken out by the likes of Gotenks and Piccolo. "I want to fight you, Frieza," Gotenks shouts. The mad tyrant chuckles before ordering Tagoma and Shizami to charge at him. Gotenks prepares himself and slips past a punch from the Red Warrior. He lands a powerful gut punch and leaps up and off his small feet to uppercut him in the chin. These two attacks knock out Shizami, then Gotenks speeds off to Tagoma. He swivel kicks him on the neck before sliding through his feet and kicking him directly in the spine. As he flips off his back, he uses Trunks' signature attack, Big Tree Cannon. The energy wave engulfs Tagoma and kills him on impact. The arrogant fusion turns and smirks. "Now, fight me yourself." While Frieza steps out of his pod, Gotenks starts screaming and actually powers up into his Super Saiyan 3 form, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Frieza's body glows and he transforms into his final form. "Do you think you can face me, little child?" Gotenks nods before racing after him. He punches Frieza in the stomach before throwing 2 punches to his chin. He flies upwards and throws down 2 very powerful ki blasts that both hit Frieza. This knocks him back quite a bit, but then he gets slammed by the might of Gotenks. Frieza's eyes show fear and also confusion that this child is able to overpower him so quickly. However, it isn't true fear since he still has another form up his sleeve. Gotenks throws 2 more punches and kicks that showcase the superior strength that he has. Gotenks lands a ranged kick before charging forward and leaving a golden trail behind him. He throws a left hook then a powerful one-hand energy wave. As Frieza blasts away, someone comes in from the side and kicks the tyrant into the ground with a powerful swiveling kick. This attack slams Frieza into the ground and sends him rolling and sliding across the battlefield. Vegeta lands ahead of Frieza and says, "Would you think you'd see me?" Frieza stands up and smirks. "I've been waiting for both of you Saiyans." "That child has some clear potential. He even gave me a run for my money," Frieza comments with a chuckle. Vegeta looks to Gotenks and he smiles while putting a thumbs up. He falls out of fusion and Goten and Trunks are both revealed. "Go home, both of you," Vegeta declares. Both being scared of him, they fly away and hope that he finally beats Frieza. Frieza stands in his classic regal position before beginning his complete transformation. Once finished, he gleams in golden energy and is now Golden Frieza. Vegeta smirks and feels the key signature coming off him. He senses this and knows that he has what it takes to defeat him. He powers up just like Frieza just did and uses his new Super Saiyan Blue transformation. His aura rages and so does Frieza's. Frieza flies directly towards Vegeta and punches him, but he blocks the attack and just hooks him in the side of the body before throwing a straight left to his face. As Frieza stumbles back, Vegeta almost teleports right behind Frieza and grabs his tail. He spins violently and slams Frieza into the ground powerfully. The Golden Fighter raises to his feet and blocks 2 incoming punches from the Saiyan Prince. Each punch he throws is double the strength of his cannon self, so he really just lays out on him. Frieza throws out 2 punches that Vegeta dodges with ease. To counter, he knees him in the stomach then lands a left hook to his chin before swiftly spinning and slamming his heel into his chin. Frieza spins around uncontrollably from the hit and just about manages to catch himself after a few good seconds of movement. "How dare you attack me," Frieza claims, flying towards Vegeta as fast as he possibly can. However, Vegeta just slips past him as he comes close enough and kicks him directly airborne with so much force that he actually reaches more than 50 meters in the air. Vegeta then flies up towards him and shows a very strong ability to fly around with control. However, his aura is present and he is getting weaker by the second. Super Saiyan Blue is attacking form and without the perfected version, he is leaving himself to get weaker and weaker. Luckily, this fight won't go on much longer. Vegeta reaches close to Frieza and throws a powerful right to his face before kicking him away and throwing several ki blasts directly at him. As the smoke clears, Vegeta throws a strike so powerful that Frieza literally falls out of his golden form because of it. His white skin reappears and Vegeta scoffs. "So you came to this planet with a new form but never took the time to learn and hone its skills? You truly are foolish, Frieza. I will now take revenge for me and for my entire Saiyan race that I was destined to rule." Frieza cows away in fear and makes a signal to Sorbet, who is on the ground level. He shoots up a laser beam, but Vegeta is smart and sees it coming once he sees the signal. He flips out of the way and just stays flying, releasing his blue Big Bang attack. The attack is so powerful that it just destroys Frieza on command really and kills him once again. He drops his arm and simply flies back to the rest of the group, who watch in awe at Vegeta's new strength. Goku lands next to him alongside Beerus and Whis. "You didn't even let me get a go, Vegeta," Goku states, quite bummed out. "Be quiet, Kakarot. There would have been no point in you fighting. I still had some leftover debt to deal with when it came to that tyrant," Vegeta announces. Vegeta's hair falls back into its normal black colour and the rest of the Z fighters are astonished by the power that he's displayed. As the group prepares to leave once again, Goten says, "Hey, purple guy." Beerus hears this and chuckles while turning. "What did you call me?" Sorry, but I didn't know your name. Can we train with you guys? I want to get strong and get stronger than Dad." "Goku, is this your child? Is he worth my time?" Beerus asks, showing no expression in his face or voice. I haven't trained with him in a while, but he has a lot of potential. I believe that he could even surpass me in the future, Goku states proudly, smiling at his son. I need to know how strong they are now. Can both of you take on Vegeta at once? Beerus asks inquisitively, dropping down to their level. Oh yeah, easily, Trunks claims arrogantly, preparing to fight. I won't have to transform to defeat both of you, Vegeta states arrogantly, mirroring the arrogance displayed by his own son. And he must be your son, Vegeta. Well, I'll let you do what you like. Show me you're worth my time. Goten and Trunks both power up into Super Saiyan and then perform the Metamorph fusion to transform into Super Gotenks. Back again, time to deliver, Gotenks declares, flying right towards Vegeta. They both clash and Gotenks actually seems to be stronger than his opponent. He swings up and kicks Vegeta in the chin before flipping away and using the big tree cannon. Vegeta is forced to back away at full speed and he begins the whole knocking back, removing any suppression he placed on himself. Gotenks then clenches his fists and powers up into Super Saiyan 2, showering the ground beneath him with electric current and a more intense aura. He flies right towards Vegeta and lands a punch that knocks him to the ground immediately. Gotenks then leaps into the air and shouts, "Big Tree Kamehameha," shooting down the combination attack. Vegeta gets hit by the attack head on and is left with heavy injury. He falls back a step in weakness and is visibly bleeding. This makes Beerus even more interested, and then Gotenks starts powering up further. He lets out a final roar and powers up into a Super Saiyan 3 form. He flies towards Vegeta, then throws 3 punches. The final punch is a gut punch that makes Vegeta cough out spit and blood before spin throwing away powerfully. Vegeta flies back to Gotenks and gets kicked back with a precise side kick. Gotenks then moves forward and lands a ranged left punch to his chest, knocking him onto his back. However, Vegeta does a backflip then turns Super Saiyan Blue, almost transforming into a blur and knocking out Gotenks with 1 punch in the stomach. The two fighters split from their ultimate fusion and both seem cheated. "You lied, you said that you wouldn't transform." "Be quiet boy, know your place," Vegeta shouts, falling back out of Super Saiyan Blue. "We," Spirit says while turning to him. "I will train these boys, I want to see more of that fusion of theirs. Just because you are kids, don't think that this training will be easy." "Let me train too," someone shouts in the distance. There stands a tall, muscular Gohan. He seems stronger and more powerful than even his ultimate Gohan self. He certainly hasn't been lacking on this training. "I'm strong and I've trained with my father my entire life," Gohan states, pitching his reason to go. "Oh well, why should I say no? Let's go." Gohan nods in excitement and Beerus just sighs. "Just don't make too much noise when I'm sleeping," he says while turning to leave. All 5 Saiyans leave Earth and both Bulma and Chi-Chi are informed beforehand. The 2 kids persuade their parents and Trunks is needed to persuade Chi-Chi, who is far more resistant. Bulma doesn't care for Trunks decides to fight instead of getting a career because she already has more than enough money to fund his life and even his children's lives. For the Universe 6 saga, Goku, Vegeta, Goten and Trunks all enter the hyperbolic time chamber to train. Gohan is there also, but Piccolo decides to stay out since there isn't much more that he can achieve. All 5 Saiyans train hard and the group all actually gain access to powerful God Ki. Goten becomes around 60% the strength of Gohan and Trunks is around 40% the strength of Gohan. Gohan is then 50% the strength of Vegeta and less than 10% the strength of Goku, who is far ahead of the rest and actually has perfected Super Saiyan Blue form already. Goten, Trunks and Gohan are capable of Super Saiyan God now too. Once all 5 fighters exit the hyperbolic time chamber, they are ready to fight in the upcoming Universe 6 Saga Tournament saga. Goten and Trunks resemble teenagers more than in canon, and Gohan looks like a true adult now with a physical age passing 20. I would love for Goten and Trunks to participate in the Tournament of Destroyers, but their parents just don't allow for it. They are very eager to go, but they still have school nonetheless and can't just leave for so long. Chi-Chi still wants Goten to actually get a job so he can make money in the world and keeps him on Earth. However, Gohan is allowed to leave since he's already quite old anyway. So that will conclude the 5th part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. Many more parts are to come since I'm going to the arc with Gas, Oil and all those people, which is basically the newest episode of Dragon Ball Super's manga. It will be fun and I intend to extend this What If past that once the next batch of chapters for Dragon Ball Super are released. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Guys, this is Anime Paul Z here and today we're going to be doing the 6th part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. I would really appreciate it if you liked the video to help with the video's algorithm and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe when you want. There's not much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay? I had cocaine in the school.
Here are the participants of the tournament: Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, Monaka, and Gohan. Majin Buu isn't alive, so Gohan can take his place quite easily. All 5 fighters enter the tournament and all of them manage to pass the written test. Goku just about passes and the rest pass quite easily. The first match is Goku vs Botomo. He sees his large figure and thinks that he has this fight in the bag. Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan form and flies right towards Botomo. He punches his body and sees no real connection at all. It's weird and he wonders how much this guy can actually take. Goku flips back multiple times as Botomo swings at him, then he launches his Kamehameha wave. It lands into his enemy's stomach and no damage is caused. Steam emits off Goku's palms and he is so confused at how he was just able to handle that attack. The only people he has seen be completely fine after that is Beerus and Whis. Goku then walks up to him and pushes him with his force, making him slide several meters back. As he sees this, Goku runs forward and pushes him right onto the ground before spin throwing him right out of the ring entirely. Goku and Frost are next up and Goku is ready to see how another of Frieza's race will do against him. Goku just attacks Frost and punches him across the ring. To follow, he slams down with a kick and Frost is able to fly into the air and transform into his second form. He lands right in front of Goku and then launches two powerful ki blasts. Goku simply ducks under both attacks and uses basic Kaioken times 10 to test the waters. He swerves while flying towards Frost and lands a powerful gut punch. Frost elbows him back and swats him away with the powerful force of his tail. Goku gets launched across the ring, but once he controls his fall, his key signature spikes as he transforms into his legendary Super Saiyan 2 form. The aura he emits is very powerful and intense, putting considerable force on the plates of material below him. He zooms forward and kicks Frost in his stomach so hard that he is launched into the air. After this, Goku launches two ki blasts ahead that heavily injures Frost. Once Frost lands back on the arena floor, he powers up into his true and final form. His power multiplies greatly and he tries to punch Goku away. However, his head stops as he tries to attack Goku and he pushes against his fist with his neck alone. Goku swings at his liver, then blasts him away with a close-up ki blast. However, Goku drops to one knee and feels quite dizzy, falling back into his ordinary Super Saiyan 2 form and then his normal Super Saiyan form. Frost soon kicks him right out of the arena and knocks him out of the tournament. What was that? Goku wonders as he feels quite dizzy and weak. Piccolo is next up and is getting ready to perform. Somehow he has gained access to a new form that has been clearly used in the manga of Dragon Ball Super. Piccolo is against Frost and he seems very calm and he almost seems like he can win already. Ah, Namekian, I hope we have a good match, Frost says happily, reaching out to shake his hand. I don't know what trick you pulled out back there, but I know that Goku could have wiped the floor with you with Kaioken alone. Don't think we don't know what your game is. His clothes flow and suddenly his ki signature fades. He engulfs in an enriching silver aura as he is filled with the power of true God Ki. I present to you a God Namekian. God Ki? Whis didn't teach him, Beerus blurts out once he sees this. No, I didn't, Whis also says, being surprised by the form he has shown. Aura of a god, for the people that watch the anime, is basically a form that anyone can pull off, which is God Ki that makes someone much stronger. Super Saiyan God is a form that also casts the aura of a god, so it's a reasonable assumption to think that the form is simply an aura of God Ki. Piccolo speed blitzes his opponent and punches Frost so hard in the stomach that he goes spinning into the air powerfully. Piccolo then pulls back and shoots up his special beam cannon, shredding directly through his body. Frost is defeated brutally and Piccolo returns to his ordinary ki form. I believe that Piccolo will gain access to this form because of his constant exposure to God Ki. When I mean Whis didn't teach him, he didn't actually teach him, but he's gave him a lot of tips because Piccolo asks a lot of questions. He's very curious about God Ki and how strong it is. He's so curious because he started to fall behind. The Saiyans were getting drastically stronger with God Ki, so he tried to attain the form himself, and that's exactly what he did. The next match is between Piccolo and Ultimate Vegeta. Piccolo tests the waters by powering up into his Kaioken times 24. His red aura blasts across the arena, then he goes into attack Vegeta. He lands a kick, but he doesn't cause much damage to the metal fighter. Vegeta then shoots several spitballs of magma that Piccolo is forced to dodge. He uses a range of acrobatic flips and maneuvers to stop getting hit by the magma blasts. Also, he starts to feel the arena getting strikingly hot. His sweat starts to build up across his body. Piccolo zooms back to Vegeta with the last of Kaioken that he has and lands a powerful punch directly at the robot's midpiece. However, the attack causes minimal damage and Vegeta throws out several magma spitballs that solidify on impact with the stage. Piccolo is able to evade these spitballs but gets grazed by the last one as Vegeta tries to approach the Namekian and he powers up into his aura of a god form. All that is needed to blast the Metal Man right out of the ring is one of his old attacks, the Hyper Demon Wave. Vegeta is thrown right out of the ring and loses the match. Piccolo pulls back his hand and God Ki before exiting the ring, being deemed the winner. Once Vegeta sees another Saiyan, he is eager to step in and try to fight him. forfeit, he mutters to Piccolo, who surprisingly follows his request and stays out to see what Vegeta is up to. I mean, Universe 7 hasn't lost one fighter. Goku was pulled right back into the tournament because Frost was actually cheating in his match. Beerus is not only confused but annoyed that a God Ki user is simply ousting himself from the remaining battles. Vegeta steps onto the ring and says, "Let's fight this battle as Super Saiyans." Cabba doesn't understand what he's talking about and just stands there awkwardly. "What Super Saiyan?" he asks in confusion. Vegeta sighs and asks, "Do you have this form, the first Super Saiyan transformation?" He clenches his fists and powers up into a Super Saiyan. His aura is pressuring and almost as powerful as Piccolo's aura of a god. Vegeta flies towards Cabba and punches him once, sliding him across the battlefield entirely. In an acrobatic flip, he throws out a ball of ki that slams into Cabba's stomach and explodes on impact. As Cabba stumbles back, he is slammed by the might of Vegeta. "If you don't transform, I'll destroy that little planet Sadala you reside on once this tournament is over. Your entire family will perish under my flames." Cabba feels utmost fear from this statement and sees the evil almost emitting from Vegeta. However, he then gets filled with ultimate rage. He punches off Vegeta with way more strength than he's ever shown before and glows in a weak but golden aura. With a punch, he transforms into the Super Saiyan transformation. His body is slightly more muscular and powerful than before. He rushes towards Vegeta and punches him in the chest with all his force. The force actually slides Vegeta back a few meters, but Vegeta transforms into his Super Vegeta form and kicks Cabba right out of the arena with his burly leg. Cabba rolls and slides out, falling out of Super Saiyan and ultimately losing the battle. The next match is between Vegeta and Hit. Vegeta is stronger this time around and is actually stronger than Canon Goku. With perfected Super Saiyan Blue, it makes him able to use the form at full capacity for much longer than he ever could have done without it. Vegeta feels that this man is stronger than the rest from his demeanour. He has a much more imposing attitude and doesn't seem to be fazed by Vegeta's strength. Vegeta takes this chance to power up into his Super Saiyan Blue form and the entire dome is shaking from the aura Vegeta is outputting. However, he stands upright and the aura almost falls into himself, leaving nothing but a blue tint across his body and no aura at all. "This is my true form," Vegeta states with a smile on his face. He speeds towards Hit, but immediately he stops. Only Goku and the gods or some others are able to see what has happened. Hit lands a perfectly timed punch to one of Vegeta's vital points and launches him across the ring. He grasps his left shoulder in agony before he bounces up to his feet, unable to comprehend what has just happened. It seemed like Hit just teleported to him and he has no clue what that's about. He flies towards Hit and throws another punch, only for Hit to freeze time again and punch Vegeta several meters away. As Vegeta slides back uncontrollably, Hit lands a powerful and precise punch to a vital point near Vegeta's heart and knocks him right out of Super Saiyan Blue. He falls back into the ordinary Super Saiyan form before being blasted right out of the arena with a simple ki blast. Goku witnesses his skill and is confused. How could a Vegeta have been defeated that easily? Goku might be stronger than Hit, but some get speculative of this fact. Gohan stands to try and face Frost and turns back to Goku. "If I lose, you can face him. I just want to get a fight in first," Gohan says while turning back to the battlefield. Hit prepares to fight once again and Gohan does too. He clenches his fists and powers up his ki. The floor shakes under the pressure and he then powers up into his new Super Saiyan God form. This form is powerful and his hair is a bright red. He zooms towards Hit and swings up with a kick. However, Hit uses Time Leap once again to dodge the attack. He follows by slamming Gohan into the ground by sliding to the side in a split second. Gohan coughs blood from the hit, then gets thrown up the ring. As he rolls away and feels a broken rib in his chest, he stands and shows a face of undying will. His key signature spikes up and only Hit is able to sense this. Gohan roars into the sky and releases power that Hit seems to think is comparable to even Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue. However, he can identify how the key signature is weaker overall. How could his power amplify so significantly without another transformation? Hit wonders in surprise. The Super Saiyan God charges at Hit with all of his new speed and throws a punch that Hit actually tries to take. He wonders how strong he has gotten and actually gets shocked by the increase in speed and also force. How could he have become so strong in seconds alone? Gohan doesn't stop there and throws 3 more punches that Hit actually evades without Time Leap. Each punch is swift and Hit has to use almost all his speed to evade them. However, Hit has had his fun. He must end this fight now. He uses Time Leap for the final time in this battle and kicks Gohan into the ground so hard that he simply gets knocked out entirely and falls out of Super Saiyan God. Hit is deemed the winner and Goku is allowed back into the tournament since Frost was cheating in his match. Goku prepares and doesn't hold anything back. He powers up into his perfected Super Saiyan Blue form and rushes right towards Hit. Hit sees that he is clearly the strongest of Universe 7 and hastily uses Time Leap to handle the Saiyan's immense speed. He lands a punch to one of his vital points and weakens him slightly. However, he takes the hit shockingly well and is still ready to go on and face the assassin already. He launches out a one-hand energy wave that hit leaps right over before dashing at Goku. He uses time leap to basically make his speed infinite, then he punches Goku across the ring. The smart Saiyan fighter starts to analyze the ability at hand and makes a solution to try and predict the hits coming his way. Hit approaches him once again, but Goku goes in for an attack himself. He throws a lazy left and Hit still uses time leap to be sure. His punch was lazy, but it's still considered fast in general. Goku is still able to block the incoming punch and Hit is taken aback. With his fist in Goku's hand, his eyes widen in confusion and just complete shock. He literally froze time and this man was still able to catch his fist. Since Goku's base is more than 5 times his Kaioken himself, he is about half his Kaioken times 10 Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken himself. Goku lands a gut punch that is skillfully aimed and he lands a powerful kick to hurl Hit into the air. He then launches up several ki blasts that collect smoke when they slam into Hit and Goku zooms up to kick Hit in the ceiling of the dome. As he falls from the height of the dome, Goku aims and shoots his God Kamehameha attack right at Hit. The blast courses through the air and actually hits into the assassin, propelling him into the wall of the ring. However, he is able to jump right back onto the ring floor and isn't deemed out of bounds. Goku and Hit then blur across the battlefield and clash into each other at the height of their strength. They even break the ground below them and launch several pieces of rock-like residue shooting to the edges of the invisible ring wall. They threw their fair share of strikes at each other and Hit is clearly overpowering the Saiyan. He hits the vital points in almost every shot and manages to keep high levels of skill but also composure as he goes full throttle for more than a minute. In the 2 last hits of the little scuffle, he lands a low uppercut to a vital point before swinging his body and kicking Goku across the ring. Goku is heavily injured from this and knows that he has to take this battle to the maximum. I don't know if this will break me or make me many times stronger, but I must try to win, he mutters to himself. Hit, in an elegant position, raises a brow and asks, "What are you talking about?" Goku looks up at the smile on his face as green streaks of ki emit from his body. His facial expression shows stress but also determination as he screams and powers up to the max. His aura returns and he continues his power up past his thought-to-be limit. Through hardship and sheer effort, the green and blue hues mix and he has gained a new form entirely, Legendary Super Saiyan Blue or just Super Saiyan Saiyan. While the technical name would be Legendary Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, but no one is saying that. His aura is pure and elegant, the most godlike of any aura he possesses. Pure white glints of ki rush around the flowing aura and invigorate his body. His muscles are far more large and resembles the likes of his ordinary legendary Super Saiyan form. His pupils are completely burst and his face is neutral. He's ready to fight. Hit tries to use his ordinary time leap for an extended time, about 0.3 seconds this time. Goku's head jerks back and gets a little bruised, but other than that, nothing really happens. Goku swivels his body and lands a precise punch to the gut that makes the entire crowd wow in excitement. How could Goku have powered up to this extent? Hit then swing kicks across the ring. As Goku sprints at him, he throws out a ki blast that knocks Hit off course. Following that, he makes an ambitious leap up and slams him into the ground. While Hit tries to rip out from the newly formed crater, Goku gives him 3 good shots before finishing off with a God Eraser Cannon. This attack is all that is needed to completely dispose of Hit and make him the loser in the bout. Goku drops his steaming hand and reverts back to his base form. Immediately after this, he drops to his knees from exhaustion and simply passes out from the same cause. The tournament is over and Universe 7 are still the victors of the tournament, much to Champa's dissatisfaction. After this tournament, Whis then goes on to train the 5 Saiyans in controlling their ki and also Ultra Instinct. However, both Vegeta and Trunks find a slight taste in another type of power, Hakai energy. The power to destroy and the power that Beerus learns. As of now, Beerus isn't anywhere near interested enough and impressed enough in taking time out of his day to train up 2 Saiyans. So that will conclude the 6th part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. Tell me something you liked about the video or something that I should improve on for the next part in the comments. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is Anime Paul Z here and today we're going to be doing the 7th part of What If Goku Was the Legendary Super Saiyan. Please like the video to help with the video's algorithm and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe when you want. I'm sorry for such a delay. I haven't been able to record videos for a good week because I lost the charger for my laptop. However, I found it and now I can record videos again. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay? I had cocaine in the school.
Since it would be odd to make Chi-Chi just let Goten go off and train with Whis, I would say that Goten is allowed to go on weekends and holidays. But during school time, he has to stay home and study. Trunks and Goten both have Super Saiyan God, and Super Saiyan God Goten is able to take on the likes of even Goku and Super Saiyan Blue. Gohan is also coming close to learning Super Saiyan Blue, and Piccolo is solitarily mastering his aura of a god form. The future Trunks arc goes on the same until Goku and Vegeta return to Earth from training. Goten and Trunks are actually back on Earth with a master instructor, and Gohan is away training. The three Saiyans arrive next to Trunks after Whis transports him there, and future Trunks awakes. He runs off his bed and throws a punch right at Goku. This Goku is way stronger and is even able to evade the attack with a simple step to the side. What's wrong? Goku asks in confusion. Goku? Who's Goku Black? Vegeta asks, shocked by the actions displayed by him. After this, he goes into the explanation and the crew decide on what must be done. Goku and Vegeta set off to face Goku Black, and Beerus goes to erase Zamasu with his destruction power. As Goku and Vegeta arrive in the future, they eventually find Goku Black simply flying in the air. Trunks has already healed mine, is a good distance behind the two warriors. I will go first, Kakarot, Vegeta states, walking towards the enemy. Goku just flies back and watches the fight from the sidelines, while Vegeta intimidatingly powers up into his Super Saiyan 3 form. Vegeta shouts loudly in preparation, pumped up for the battle that awaits him. Goku Black transforms and is only able to transform into a Super Saiyan. Of course you'd be able to transform into a Super Saiyan, you're in Goku's body. Let's begin. Goku Black begins to fly to Vegeta but gets overwhelmed by his opponent's ultimate speed. Vegeta lands a punch to his stomach before landing a punch to his face, a knee to the chest and a kick to the stomach. These 4 attacks break apart the false Saiyan and really puts into perspective how far behind he is in terms of strength. They clash again and Vegeta still has the upper hand. Goku Black gets hurled back more than 10 meters and he gets hit by a ki blast, swiveling him around violently. To finish off, Vegeta punches him downwards and double drop kicks him through an entire building. As such building comes tumbling and falling down, he raises his palm and mutters Hyper Big Bang Attack. The ki blast zooms into the building through a broken window and violently explodes. Once the steam and smoke clears, Goku Black reveals himself in an injured state. Vegeta crosses his arms and says, allow me to take this up a notch. His aura turns to a blue hue before his hair shortens and he transforms into a Super Saiyan Blue form. Next, his aura collapses in on itself and he is now in the perfected form of Super Saiyan Blue. He zooms across the sky and punches Goku Black right through another building. He then lands 3 punches before grabbing the back of his head and viciously kneeing him in the nose. Blood is released everywhere, but Vegeta just kicks him and slams him into a broken car that explodes once hit. Vegeta then pulls him out of the building car and hurls him into the air, launching a full power energy wave ahead. Goku Black gets hit by the attack and gets heavily injured, nearly dying in the process. Vegeta slowly walks to a broken down Goku Black who can't even stand on both of his feet. You thought stealing our bodies and using our powers would be that easy? No, Saiyans have the body but you need the mind too, and you lack the instinct of a true Saiyan warrior. As Vegeta approaches him, Goku Black cowers away, trying to stay alive. No, this can't be, he shouts, pleading to survive. Oh, but it is though, and this rash thought has cost you your life, Vegeta declares, raising a glowing palm. However, Goku Black clenches his fist and screams into the air above him in rage. He can't die now, so he can finish his Zero Immortals project. The simple mortal can do nothing to him now. His hair turns a beautiful rosé colour and his aura copies that same hue. His transformation is complete and he has transformed into a Super Saiyan Rosé form. Ah, that feels amazing. Before Vegeta can even think about what's going on, he gets punched in the stomach and launched across the battlefield with ease. Before he can put his block up, he gets punched into the sky, then hit with several ki blasts from the Divine Saiyan. Vegeta goes swiveling and swerving in the air, then Goku Black slams him down and through another building. Debris and smoke scatters everywhere, leaving Vegeta just enough time to evade the next attack. He flies airborne but then sees another person in the air. This time he's green with white hair. Hello there, Vegeta, Zamasu says from a distance, closing in on the warrior. Ahead of him, Goku Black is there too. I need to get up there and fight, Goku shouts, shaking the ground below him with his powering up. His silver aura turns red, then blue, and he transforms into a Super Saiyan Blue form. After this, he stacks on the power of the legendary Super Saiyan to grant him Super Saiyan Saiyan. Now he is almost 60 times stronger than Vegeta and more than enough to handle Goku Black at the state. He is more than 130 times his canon self too. Goku zooms into the air and kicks Zamasu so hard that his jaw snaps out of place. To follow, he grabs Goku Black by the back of the head and swings him down, following with an Eraser cannon. "Let's do this," Goku shouts powerfully. Both fighters scream and let out as much power as they can, reaching the true limit of their powers. Goku's aura has a lighter hue and is clearly larger than Vegeta's too. However, when Vegeta is powering up, he reaches the next step of the Super Saiyan Blue form. Super Saiyan Blue evolution. We don't know how much stronger this form is than ordinary Super Saiyan Blue, but I'll just say that it's many times more. He was equal to Super Saiyan Blue times 20 Goku, so it's probably a 20 times multiplier, so I'll just use that. It's safe to assume that Goku and Vegeta were very close to, if not equals at the time. Goku Black flies right towards Vegeta but gets knocked back by a swinging kick. The hit launches him back more than 15 meters and they both fall into a power struggle. Vegeta clearly seems to be overpowering him and actually pushing him back. To follow, he lands a ranged jab before landing a swinging kick and an uppercut to the chin. To gain some new distance, he pushes him back with an elbow and a newly powered ki blast. Goku Black falls back with gritted teeth and Vegeta kicks him downwards, pulling back and launching his final flash attack. Goku Black gets hit by the attack and gets engulfed in the blast. His shirt scorches off and he is left with grave injuries. However, once Vegeta closes in on him, he gets stabbed by a pink blade from his palm. He coughs blood from his mouth and his eyes dilate under the fear and pain. Goku Black raises back up and says, "Do you not know your own power, Saiyan? Keep beating me to a pulp and I'll come back stronger and stronger every time." "Well, I have the same ability too," Vegeta shouts, chomping down on a sensu bean. His power also rises and he rips the blade from his chest as they both simultaneously punch each other in the face. They slam back and both receive considerably large bruises. Goku rises and stares Zamasu down with his blank pupils. "Prepare to die like the rest of you puny mortals," Zamasu shouts, raising his fists. "I believe you aren't as strong as the one back there. You don't have the body of a Saiyan." Goku punches him once again and shatters the side of his skull. To follow, he slams down with his heel and swivels Zamasu. He then finishes off with a barrage of attacks that heavily injure the god and he ends up being stabbed by a pole sticking out of a building. He coughs blood and screams in pain but eventually starts laughing under his wheezing breath. "Did you really think you could kill a god?" Zamasu shouts boldly, ripping the pole from his chest and holding his arms up in a godlike position. Goku just slams him through the building situated right behind him and launches several Broly type ki blasts. Zamasu gets very injured from them and falls to a knee from his injuries. However, all Goku can hear is that irritating chuckle. Goku roars wildly and then slams into his body. Zamasu breaks through many floors of the building and eventually caves in on itself. However, he is still able to fight with the feeble strength he still has left. Both of the divine fighters climb through the air and start standing in regal positions above the mortals below them. "We have had fun, however don't think we don't know the extra power that you possess, Goku." Goku Black flies forward slightly and his muscles buff up wildly as he roars down to the two fighters below. His hair brightens out with a light pink hue but then switches to more of a purple hue. His aura matches that same colour and his pupils are nowhere to be seen. "If I follow those naming customs of yours, I shall call this form Super Saiyan Lavender," Goku Black announces, showing off his glistening muscles. Goku shows a clear sign of fear but Vegeta's face is firm. He shall not lose to a false Saiyan. Goku Black races to both fighters and Goku lands an upward kick to his abdomen. The burly warrior barely knocks upward and keeps his creepy smile stretched across his face. As he jerks upwards, he throws down two ki blasts before stabbing into Goku's stomach with a ki sickle. The Saiyan screams in the agony of the weapon impaling his intestines and he is painfully swung around and shook off the blade, slamming into Vegeta. He then goes spinning past him to the ground with a significant injury. Vegeta looks back up to him and then flies ahead with a dead face of determination. Both punches clash and Vegeta is left with far worse injuries. Goku Black then swings ahead and throws two gut strikes to his stomach and leaves Vegeta shocked. Finally, he throws a punch at Vegeta's forearm, snapping it. As his arm drops, he front kicks Vegeta away with a vicious pushing motion. Then he jerks back his glowing palm. Die! Goku Black rains down several ki blasts but Vegeta gets in focus and dodges the blasts that destroy the surroundings. Goku, who is now in simple Super Saiyan, sees the attacks above and can barely dodge them with his hindered speed. Vegeta grabs him out of the way then zooms upwards, exiting the entire splash zone of the attack. "Come back now," Goku Black shouts with a maniacal face. His veins are extremely large and pulsating across his strikingly massive muscles. The cackle he gives off is dark and devilish, imposing fear to the Super Saiyans, flying off into the distance. They both arrive at where Future Trunks is and Vegeta falls out of Super Saiyan. "Hide your key signature, now," he shouts, looking back to see if the two divine beings are still in sight. "We must retreat, we can't beat Goku Black with his new form," Trunks states, looking to see if they are being tracked. The time machine is next to them and Goku alongside Vegeta step in. Trunks and Mai then follow and the group secretly set off to the main timeline. Goku Black notices them in the distance and blasts off to attack them. He swings as he is in arm's reach of the large machine, but in the blink of an eye it's gone. He flips several times as he propels himself forward before staying put in his place. His aura returns to a rosé colour and his muscles shrink. He lets out a calm exhale as he returns to his normal form. That is quite taxing, he claims, as Zamasu approaches him. "Yes, save it for when they return, they won't survive," Zamasu proclaims, staring off into the distance. Once Goku arrives, he is sent to learn the Mafuba technique. Vegeta and his son Trunks are off to trade in the hyperbolic time chamber for another time. Whis is unable to teach Trunks God Ki for the sake of being neutral in the event, and he is merely there to watch. Vegeta desires to gain enough power in his new form to overpower the warrior, and Trunks is just trying to get as strong as possible so he can't be just fodder. Luckily, Goku is able to supply Trunks with a load of senzu beans that are able to fuel the fighting that the two will be doing. Their Zenkais will help a lot in the process too. Goten and Trunks are just at school and Gohan just hopes that they'll be okay with what's going on right now. The three fighters finish their training and Trunks' hair lengths out again. However, due to the senzu beans, both fighters have much bigger leaps in strength. Vegeta is now more than 6 times as can himself in strength. This is from Zenkais, but also from having a sparring partner. Trunks has become much stronger and can actually overpower his father when he's in his base if he uses Super Saiyan 2. He has access up to Super Saiyan 2 and is much larger physically. Vegeta has actually surpassed Goku in this what if. Goku was only learning the Mafuba, so never had time to advance his powers. He did get stronger after the stab wound from Zamasu healed, yes, but Vegeta had many Zenkais. Vegeta has also managed to perfect his form of the evolution form, controlling its drastic stamina drain and mastering his new stamina and speed. The group returns to the future timeline and find Goas heavily injured by an attack from Zamasu. As Goku Black flies down to try and finish him off, Vegeta grabs him and leaps right out of the way. Trunks then blinds him with his solar flare. This gives him enough time to fly off and keep the deity alive. As they try to heal him, they see a blinding light in the distance. The light eventually dies down and one being flies from above the buildings. All the fighters just assume it's Goku Black since Zamasu can barely fight anyway. However, the person looks different. His skin is a sleek green and his hair points up in a pure white. His aura is graceful and doesn't just flail around violently, it flows and shines. I am the one and only god of this universe. I am God Zamasu. So that will conclude the 7th. Goku sees the fight and intends to step up. However, Vegeta walks ahead and turns back to Goku. "I surpassed you in that damn chamber. Don't take this away from me," Vegeta demands with a cold, unmotivated tone. "It's about time I show you guys a true Saiyan, not a knockoff like you." Zamasu chuckles with his arms wide and says, "Oh please, I'd much rather be a god than an angry mortal." Vegeta powers up and begins to shake the ground below him. His hair switches to a blue hue, then darkens out as he transcends into his Super Saiyan Blue evolution form. However, his aura collapses and once it does, he lets out a cold sigh. This power feels as if it will explode. It feels unlimited, he announces in surprise. God Zamasu isn't phased and just flies right towards Vegeta. He swings wildly, but the Saiyan swivels under the attack and lands a powerful hit to his stomach. This sends Zamasu sliding back, but he just chuckles after the hit. Vegeta doesn't pay attention to this and lands a punch to his face, swinging up with a kick to the chin. The force knocks him back, but causes little damage. Vegeta then punches him 3 times on his forearm. Zamasu just kicks Vegeta to the ground and wins him of the attack. He dives down and punches the ground, but Vegeta is just about able to dodge. As the fusion swings out for a punch at Vegeta's face, he parries the hit only to be hooked in the liver. Zamasu then grabs the neck of his shirt, lifting him and slamming him into the ground with scary levels of force. The entire ground breaks apart and leaves Vegeta, who is struggling to stay in his new and improved form. Eventually he backflips away, then prepares to fight again. Don't underestimate me, God. So that will conclude the 7th part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. Tell me something you liked about the video, or something that I should improve on for the next part in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the 8th part of What If Goku Was the Legendary Super Saiyan. Please like the video to help with the video's algorithm, and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe when you want. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
One time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay? I had cocaine in the school.
Vegeta roars before flying ahead towards his opponent, and he even causes an accumulation of dust beneath him from the speed at which he flies. He slams into Zamasu, knocking him back, but he evades a predicted punch and lands a ranged kick. However, Zamasu grabs his outreached leg and clamps onto it with unshakable force. He fiercely pulls up before slamming the Saiyan into the ground once again. As he closes in to try and punch him further into the ground, Vegeta kicks him into the air before blasting off and punching him further back and away. As Zamasu is punched up, Vegeta makes several movements to make it appear as if multiple versions of himself exist. Eventually, he forms several after images that completely throw off the deity. He swings at a fake of Vegeta, leaving himself open to get kicked powerfully in the side of his body. He travels about a meter from the force inflicted on him, but it doesn't do much to him. Vegeta then forms a large ki blast in both hands that brighten out to a beautiful yellow colour. Eventually, they crackle under the dark sky and let out charged up strikes of electricity. Vegeta combines both of the attacks together and his entire body engulfs in the chittering yellow aura. Final flash! The attack zooms towards God Zamasu and hits him directly. The deity didn't have enough time to react and he has to take the attack instead. He is left with a large wound across his chest and burning palms. Steam emits off such wounds and he mutters, "You pest," with gritted teeth. Vegeta lands back on the ground after hearing a call for his name and blurs forward to arrive at Goku's side. "Quickly, take this ring. Trunks, you're up. Distract him." "No, I will win this alone," Vegeta demands, racing back to Zamasu with a scream. He throws a punch, but the deity doesn't move at all. He just grabs the fist of Vegeta and crunches it with a squeeze. The Saiyan screams in agony and tries to let loose of his grip, eventually doing so. As he backs away, Zamasu kicks him back and stabs Vegeta in the stomach, then punches him into the ground. God Zamasu raises his palm and grows a white ki blast in his hand, smirking, "Goodbye, mortal," he mutters, while releasing the blast. However, Trunks arrives and slices the attack with his powerful sword. "Leave my father alone, you've done too much damage to this beautiful world, and now you must pay," he screams as he bubbles up with rage by staring at the being that has destroyed his home. His inner aura changes to a bluer hue and he transforms into his special and unique Super Saiyan Rage form. His pupils are gone and he looks more than ready to fight the fused deity. He swings his sword madly, intending to just land a cut on his opponent. However, his opponent just evades every attack while maintaining a smug smirk across his face. Trunks swings out slightly too with a straight slash and swings himself forward slightly. God Zamasu slides past his attack and kicks him back, punching his head and swinging his sword right out of the way. Trunks stumbles back and his pupils return. Zamasu zooms towards him with his halo vibrating behind his head and he intends for a killer punch. However, Vegeta catches him off guard as he shouts, "Here, Zamasu, your true enemy." Zamasu stops in his tracks and looks to the side to see a new being has been formed. He leaps down from the wall that he stood on and faces his opponent. "Luckily, I can mix the forms of Goku and Vegeta to give me a new form. I can't wait to show you, Zamasu." Vegeta roars and powers up into Super Saiyan Blue. After this, he transcends into Super Saiyan Saiyan, then fuses the two forms together to form Super Saiyan Saiyan Evolution. "You see? Check out my new form, Super Saiyan Saiyan Evolution." Vegeta flies right towards Zamasu and punches him once. This one punch makes Zamasu cough up blood before being hit several more times. Each hit causes extensive damage and just breaks the deity apart. He rashly flies right towards Vegeta, only for him to blast him away with the use of a simple ki technique. Zamasu gets knocked right into the brick wall situated behind him and is blinded by rage. How could a mere mortal overpower him in battle? No, this can't be true. Zamasu lets out his bubbling and building anger through his violent aura, and a vein across his forehead enlarges as he is infuriating. He runs right towards Vegeta, then they both trade punches. To follow, Vegeta slips under another one of his punches and lands a punch to his chest. After doing so, he crushes some of the fusion's teeth with a punch and swings up at his knee with a kick. His entire kneecap crushes and his teeth fall out of his mouth completely. Blood drips across his shirt and he stumbles onto his broken knee. Vegeta swings up and kicks him back before grabbing the chest of his loose shirt and slamming him into the ground. Vegeta stands firm with his dark cyan hair staring into the deity's eyes. Zamasu grasps his arm with all the force that he can muster and can't budge it. In this what if, Vegeta in just his base form is tens of times stronger than his canon self. If Super Saiyan Saiyan's multiplier is 10 times Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution's multiplier is 20 times, that means that this form's multiplier is 200 times Super Saiyan Blue. This means if we lowball Vegeta to 10 times his canon self in his base, this means that in this form he will be 2,000 times his normal strength in canon. When I mean normal strength, I don't mean in his base, I just mean in Super Saiyan Blue. So Blue Vegeta from the canon is 2,000 times weaker than Vegeta in this what if with Super Saiyan Saiyan evolution. Zamasu is on the brink of death when Vegeta pulls back and leaps into the air. He releases massive energy and charges up his final attack, Final Kamehameha! The attack gets blasted down to Zamasu and engulfs him in the blast. The entire of the Divine Man gets engulfed in the blast. He is subdued in such blasts, but since he is immortal, he becomes the infinite Zamasu. He covers the sky and growls down at the beings below him. Once Vegeta lands, he splits into Goku and Vegeta again. After this, Goku sees that this is truly a sticky situation and he reveals the button that allows him to summon Zeno. The Omni King arrives after he calls him and he sees the faces of Zamasu showering the sky. Its dark green hue gives a creepy feeling and tint to the environment below. This isn't good, I have to get rid of this place, Omni King states, after Goku briefly explains what's going on. He raises his very short hands and releases a white energy, destroying the universe completely and taking Zamasu with him. The light emitting from his palms eventually cloaks the entire sky and universe until there is nothing left at all besides darkness. After these events, Vegeta and Beerus have a little training spar and Vegeta wants to see how strong he's become. He makes his own stance and transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, however the aura dissipates, leaving just soul streams of air rising off the surface of his body. This will be a little more exciting, Beerus announces, standing still in his tracks and waiting for Vegeta to attack first. The Saiyan blasts off his feet and speeds over towards the god. He swings wildly, but Beerus is easily able to evade and lightly kick him airborne. As Beerus zooms towards him, Vegeta throws down several ki blasts before diving in and slamming into him. The force is enough to knock the God of Destruction down a few meters or so, but overall there really isn't much damage to be made. He still stands firm with his hands wrapped behind his back. Vegeta screams while throwing a collection of swift and powerful attacks that Beerus just easily dodges. Every attack is strong and precise but just can't seem to land on the God of Destruction. As Vegeta swings across for a hug, Beerus simply spins above the attack and holds down a large ki blast before kicking Vegeta right in his stomach. He gets sent flying to the ground and almost breaks through it, leaving a big crater. As he lands, his hair darkens and he powers up into his new Super Saiyan Blue evolution form. His aura is strong and present now, giving off a dark blue hue with a few white crystals scattered within. He flies up towards Beerus and cocks back his fist in preparation for his attack. He shouts loudly while flying up and Beerus doesn't seem to be moving at all. With all its speed, he still misses the punch and swings right past his face. All the god has to do is move his head out of the way. After this, he swivels around and kicks Vegeta in his open chest, reverting him to his base form. Finishing off the bout, Beerus closes in with an elbow, then kicks him down with a double drop kick that slams him into the crater once again. Vegeta in agony coughs blood and Whis appears in between them to stop the fight. Don't you think that was too harsh, Beerus? He asks in annoyance, looking back at Vegeta's significant injuries. I barely even hit him. Get up, Vegeta. The Saiyan is too far and weak to even hear this, just continuing with his loud coughing and wheezing. He is also covered in blood from his wounds and also mouth after some devastating blows. I'm fine, Vegeta insists, being barely able to get the words out. Luckily, he isn't anywhere near death and with some good healing and rest, he will be just fine. After some good amount of time, Vegeta is set to go back to Earth for the birth of his daughter Bulla. Goku goes back to Earth but kinda just leaves after to meet the Omni King Zeno. Once he does, things go similar with the battle between Gods of Destruction and Beerus is the one to win it as in canon. Next, there is a turn of events between the battle of Goku and Toppo. Goku starts off the battle in his base form and Toppo also starts with no enhancements of any sort. They fly at each other and Toppo is clearly superior to his combatant. Goku swings up for a kick but Toppo swerves past the hit and slams him into the ground. However, Goku is able to flip back up to his feet and block an incoming punch. The force slides the Saiyan back several meters and even leaves a bruise hidden under his gi. Toppo then closes the space with a horizontal kick that Goku blocks as well. Sliding to the edge of the ring, he jumps off his opponent's shoulders then powers up into his legendary Super Saiyan form. He stares down with no pupils and punches the ground with extraordinary force. He even cracks the surface and closes in for a barrage of attacks. Toppo is able to evade and manage many attacks but gets hit by a ranged jab and a powerful right hook. These hits are way more powerful than his canon counterpart's attacks in this fight, but he is still far below Toppo in terms of power. The Saiyan stands still and Toppo also comes to a halt. "What are you up to?" Toppo asks, irritated that they have both simply stopped. He seems to be a fighter of honor since he stands still and doesn't move a muscle. Goku transforms into his Super Saiyan God form but then ascends into his legendary Super Saiyan God form, giving off a pure brown aura. What a dirty colour for an aura. However, I sense it has something to do with the aura of a god. Allow me to use the same form too. His aura appears and they both race to each other. Goku lands a powerful punch that Toppo is actually forced to block smartly. He swings around for a kick but is also blocked. Toppo throws his own attack but all Goku does is backflip away to evade the incoming strike. His speed is greatly amplified now and his strength is too. Just to put into comparison, Super Saiyan Blue Goku from canon was bested by this version of Toppo quite badly. However, Goku's many times stronger than that version of himself in this form alone. To put on top of that, this form is 5 times weaker than Super Saiyan Blue. Their punches clash together and they seem to be equal as of now. As Toppo follows up with a hook, Goku weaves under the attack and strikes at his ribs before extending up to chip at his chin with a hook from his opposite arm. As he stumbles back, Goku is able to land a straight kick before closing in and slamming a ki blast into his chest like a Rasengan. The trainee god of destruction slides back and holds his arms up tight to prevent from any other attacks. You have grown so much in power with those transformations of yours. Isn't that how you gain your strength? Pretty much, Goku claims, powering up into his next and biggest form, Super Saiyan Saiyan. His aura is crisp and pure, almost giving off an angelic pressure. He drops his arms and then dashes towards Toppo. He is barely able to react before getting stricken in the stomach so hard that blood and spit is forced out of his mouth. He is hurled off his feet, then Goku swivels around swiftly before kicking the man so hard in his nose that he slides to the edge of the ring. As he does so, Goku leaps off his planted feet with immeasurable force and punches him in his chest so hard that he is blasted off the ring entirely, thumping the ground as he lands. "Oh wow, Goku's so strong," Zeno exclaims, pleased with the battle that he was lucky enough to witness. The Saiyan reverts back into his ordinary state and exhales calmly. In this continuity for the Tournament of Power, Tien is replaced by Goten and Krillin is replaced by Trunks. Both do have parents that really want them to stay on Earth, but they realize that the fate of the universe is at stake and these warriors will be needed to help. At the end of the day, they are some of the strongest fighters in the universe behind Goku, Vegeta and Gohan. With their fusion technique, they'll be beyond tough matchups for the tournament. Piccolo is also far stronger with his aura of a god form and can even rival the likes of legendary Super Saiyan 2 Goku with the new power he has. Including Kaioken, which he hasn't tried to combine with this form yet, that can make him far stronger than even that. The fighters prepare and are all ready. Goten and Trunks are a little scared but are confident in what they can accomplish with the arrogant God Gotenks fusion. Gohan is also on the verge of Super Saiyan Blue and has mastered Super Saiyan God to a considerable degree. Once the battles start, the first few are completely dominated by the Universe 7 fighters. Almost all of them have a lot of power and can handle their own against some of the lesser foes of the tournament. Goten encounters the Flying Birdman above the tournament and almost appears behind it with his new levels of speed, striking it down to the surface with a powerful kick then hurling down a Kamehameha. The bird is literally toasted in that blast and stumbles right off the ring entirely, being eliminated. Goten lands and closes in next to Trunks. "We can stay in the game, Trunks. We can do this." "Well, not in our bases we can't," Trunks states. That is true. Both fighters power up into their Super Saiyan 2 forms and their auras seem to connect as they clash together. Some of the fighters next to them are astonished by their power. Goku gets grabbed from behind and is unable to move around. I got him, someone declares, keeping him strapped down and stationary. However, he just transforms into a Super Saiyan and pushes them away. The Pride Trooper slides backwards in shock of the Saiyan's power. He ducks under the attack then punches them in the stomach so hard before grabbing them by the muscly arm and slamming them into the ground. As he slams, Goku shoots down a condensed ki blast that destroys the tournament area surrounding him. While some other Pride troopers approach him, Goku powers up into his legendary Super Saiyan form. So Jiren isn't even worried about me at all, Goku realizes, seeing the athletic looking warrior fighting in the distance. The trio de danger approach Gohan, who is much stronger in this what if. I can't even put into context how much stronger he is. As he sees them approaching, he powers up into his ultimate form, glistening within a powerful white aura. His black hair flows under the pressure gracefully and he speeds off towards one of the fighters. He lands a punch and they manage to block, getting slid back and significantly injured. As another one approaches him, he swivels around and kicks them in the side before closing the distance and striking again, but this time with his fist. The fox-like warrior stumbles back with a large bruise across his head and a broken rib. The two remaining Fox brothers advance towards Gohan, but he seems calmer than ever. His eyes swiftly switch between the two and he makes up a good combination of movements to contain them both. Botomo, the blue fox, throws a punch that Gohan evades skillfully. To follow, he strikes him in the liver area and pulls him around so quickly that he uses Botomo as an actual human shield against an energy wave from Basil. His own brother blasts him to the edge of the ring and Gohan flies after him as he tumbles and slides to the edge of the ring. With a powerful kick, he is held right off it and Gohan deals with the two remaining fighters, Basil and Lavender. An aura of red and orange cloaks the Saiyan as the two fighters approach. His eyes are closed, but then he pulls them open, revealing their glistening red hue. His hair shifts into that same colour and he fully transforms into a Super Saiyan God. So that will conclude the 8th part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. A much longer video, I'm looking at the Audacity minutes right now and it says 16, so that's actually pretty impressive and I think that's one of the longest What If parts I've ever made, if not the longest. Tell me something you liked about the video or something that I should improve on for the next part in the comments. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here and today we are going to be doing the 9th part of What If Goku Was the Legendary Super Saiyan. Please like the video as it helps with the video's algorithm and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe when you want. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Basil throws a punch of his own, but Gohan evades it easily. He barely seems to care about the attack and just grabs the outreached arm, gaining some distance against the fighter with a powerful kick. As Lavender attacks, all the godlike Saiyan has to do is punch him in the sternum, then in the head. This totally stuns Lavender and leaves him folded like a beach chair. To finish, Gohan seems to turn into a blur as he appears behind the fox fighter, kicking him right across and over the ring. Basil, the last brother, powers up as much as he possibly can and launches one of his signature attacks. The red fox leaps with extraordinary leaping ability and chucks out several ki blasts from his glowing feet. Gohan dodges every single one then just blasts him out with a one-hand energy wave. Done, Gohan states, turning back to continue the fight with the other contestants. Frost eliminates someone of a different universe and catches sight of Goten and Trunks. Both of the kids scream as they power up and eventually ascend into their own Super Saiyan God forms. Their red auras are identical to Gohan's and they have facial expressions of determination but also confidence. You boys genuinely think you stand a chance. Trunks simply leaps off his feet and flies to Frost, landing a powerful punch to his gut with a smirk across his face. The force gives off a deep booming noise and also expels blood and spit from the enemy's mouth. He cowers away with a slight tremble to his movements and asks, how could you be so strong, as his ego is breaking apart second by second. Goten takes over and jumps right over his friend, kicking down on the fighter's head. Frost is quickly dropped to his hands and knees and the boys loom over him with flowing red hair. "We're Saiyans," Goten says happily, loving the thrill of the fight and punching Frost's head downwards, cementing it into the ground. As his body falls limp, Trunks grabs him by the back and launches him out of the ring entirely, eliminating him. Frieza arrives and says, "You boys are surprising," with minimal annoyance in his tone and voice. Goku clashes with Toppo and the man seems even more eager to get him in a rematch. "I won't lose this time, Saiyan," Toppo insists, while pushing on Goku's forearm. The Saiyan is clearly losing since he is just in Super Saiyan and Dispo lands a precise and deadly double drop kick to the man's ribs. It's a beautiful attack with very impressive speed. The Saiyan slides across the battlefield and transforms into his Super Saiyan God form. The pain from his attack makes his power spike and his muscles enlarge slightly. A vein appears across his forehead as he seems much more determined. Toppo closes in and swings across with a kick, but Goku jumps right over it and swings out with his very own kick. He tries to strike down with a punch to Dispo, but the speedy Pride Trooper evades such attack with little effort. Goku lands himself and makes a facial expression of slight surprise and shock since he clearly has amazing speed. "You're that strong just on your own? That's insane," Goku shouts out, certainly impressed by his abilities. The runner-up God uses his aura of a god form and coldly states, "You are not done with me yet." Goku can cut back to the fight he had with him, and with the info he gained from that fight, this guy can certainly handle him in Super Saiyan God. He powers up into his Super Saiyan Saiyan form and shows off the bright blue aura he now elegantly emanates. He roars as his aura rages and he really taps into his hidden strength. He channels the rage from within him and lets everything go wild. "The ground is gonna break," Dispo exclaims while backing away from the Saiyan warrior. In the distance, all Vegeta can do is smirk. "Jiren!" Goku shouts while zooming right through Toppo and Dispo, thwacking the calm warrior. This punch actually does something and leaves a minor bruise on Jiren. Goku then throws 2 more attacks that Jiren isn't able to dodge since he was caught off guard. "Take me seriously," Goku demands, showing off his new amount of power. His power seems to continue rising, Beerus notices, peering into the arena and examining Goku's God Key. "There is no need," Jiren states boldly, keeping his arms closed. The Saiyan's dull white eyes twitch from this remark and his true Saiyan instinct to fight takes over. He flies at Jiren and lands a good kick to his side. Finally, both fighters connect with punches of their own that shake the very ground they lay on. For some scales and multiply stuff, Goku is around 60 times his canon self using this form when he was in ordinary Super Saiyan Blue. So Super Saiyan Saiyan Goku in this What If is 60 times Super Saiyan Blue Goku from canon. However, UI's multiplier likely far outclasses that of Super Saiyan Blue, and I'll give you reasoning for this. This can be seen how Moro was easily bested by an MUI Goku in the Moro arc. Another piece of info to add to this scale is that Gogeta Blue was able to best Broly, but not as easily. Moro was finished as soon as Goku ascended into that form. However, Broly was undoubtedly weaker or maybe equal to Moro and stood a better chance against Gogeta Blue. This means MUI Goku is probably stronger than Gogeta Blue by a pretty considerable degree, making UI far stronger than any Super Saiyan Blue form. Goku might be way stronger in this continuity, but he's definitely nowhere near enough to handle the likes of Jiren in this form. Goku keeps Jiren's hands full with several powerful attacks, and some even manage to break through and hit him. However, the fighter keeps a straight face and really just isn't trying that much to win. Across the tournament floor, Vegeta is up against the likes of Toppo. "Do you think you stand a chance against the Prince of all Saiyans, a true Saiyan elite?" Vegeta asks arrogantly with a strong cross between his arms. "Don't you know that I surpass Kakarot and have an even stronger form than his own?" Vegeta questions, trying to intimidate the warrior. "Who is Kakarot? And show me this form that you boast about. Let me see how sincere the affirmation is." Vegeta chuckles to himself and coldly lets out an exhale. His arms drop beside himself and his blue aura takes form. His blue hue then darkens out to a dimmer, darker form of blue, and he transcends into his Super Saiyan Blue evolution form. After this happens, his aura thins out and Vegeta tries hard to collapse it. After some good mental work, he's able to completely destroy the aura and perfect his new form. "I am the strongest Saiyan to ever live," Vegeta shouts proudly with a smirk across his face. The new power he possesses is more than exciting to use. He zooms towards Toppo and lands one punch that knocks the wind right out of him. Dispo tries a sneak attack, but Vegeta slips right under the attack and swings up for a devastating uppercut to the chin. Dispo's prone head is jerked back unhealthily and Vegeta punches him several meters away. Toppo, in rage, powers up to the maximum and shows off his true power. His strong godlike aura shines in Vegeta's firm face as he doesn't care in the slightest. Toppo zooms at him and swings for a punch, but Vegeta simply catches the attack and kicks his sternum so hard that it shatters. Dispo watches in horror as this happens and Vegeta spin throws the man right out of the ring and eliminates him. Dispo is the only one left who gives it his all with his last speedy attack. It lands and Vegeta does slide back. The Saiyan looks down and does nothing but smirk back at him. That was quick, however, I don't think speed is all you need to subdue the likes of me, the Saiyan says, glaring at his opponent with his dark blue eyes. "Die!" Vegeta exclaims, releasing a powerful energy wave to knock Dispo right out of the ring. Luckily, Dispo is still alive but heavily injured from that last attack. Vegeta, who is alone left on the arena floor, flies at him with even more speed than he's displayed. The air around him whips violently as he zooms through it, giving off the false impression of an aura. Dispo is just about able to block the first punch but gets worn down by the combination of several attacks aimed at him. He reaches the edge of the ring, then Vegeta blasts him off with a powerful ki blast, a god Big Bang attack. Dispo flies off the ring and is eliminated, leaving Goku and Jiren off in the distance and a few others. Randomly, Vegeta gets punched in the back by a mysterious force. Once he examines behind him, there is nothing to be seen. Once he sees nothing, he gets punched in the stomach again, but he is far too strong to be injured by the likes of some random invisible fighter. He is far more confused than he actually is hurt. Once he gets punched again, he successfully grabs the arm of the fighter. With immovable force, he charges at the ring edge and spin throws the fighter off, eliminating them. Goku, who is still in Super Saiyan Saiyan and invigorated by a power spike, gets punched in his back. Jiren then takes the chance to knee him in the face and punch him back and away. Two Pride Troopers then arrive at Jiren's side, concerned for the battle. There seems to be an invisible fighter on here, one explains, looking around to see any odd occurrences. Goten looks around and actually sees a small bug running across the floor. All he does is shoot a ki blast at it, then kick it away and off the ring, eliminating it. What was that, he wonders before getting back to trying to save himself and not get eliminated. Frieza manages to overpower Caulifla in battle, but eventually Kale transforms into a Berserk Super Saiyan form. This means that power only rises and she's even able to overpower the likes of Gold and Frieza. Kale crushes the tyrant through and into the ground with her knees, following with several punches that make Frieza scream in pain. Blood is covered on Kale's veiny fists, but someone is there to help. Frieza, back away, Gohan shouts with his red aura. The Saiyan powers up to the maximum with his powers and rushes towards Kale. He throws two punches at the Berserk Saiyan, dodges with ease and with a maniacal smile on her face. He gets kneed in the stomach, then stricken in his left skull area. Following that, she lands an uppercut, then a one-hand energy wave. Once the smoke clears, Gohan is revealed with heavy injuries and with a heavy pant to his breath. All Kale does is laugh and release her ever-growing, imposing aura. From the stand, Spirit doesn't seem concerned about Gohan at all. Now he can use his signature ability, he states, calmly awaiting the upcoming events. What do you mean? Whis asks in confusion. His rage, Spirit says. Ah, yes, of course. Gohan lets out a powerful roar and utmost fury, eventually being hidden by his aura. The hue switches from a warm red to a sharp, cool blue, glistening around him with some white crystals circling him. The aura drops slightly and he is revealed with his new blue hair. He doesn't even take time to feel out his new form and dashes towards Kale, landing a punch that she blocks. The raging Saiyan swings a telegraph punch that Gohan is able to easily slip by, jabbing her in the chin and hooking her right in the liver area. As she slides back from the falls, Gohan zooms to her and leaps up, landing a precise knee to her nose. Two streams of blood expel from her nostrils as her nose breaks. Gohan falls under his own weight and strikes her in the stomach with all his newfound strength. Kale's power continues to rise and she sprints at her top speed towards Gohan. Her moves are predictable and slow, making it easy for Gohan to evade several punches of hers with ease. He kicks her in the stomach, but he simply doesn't do all that much damage. He swings again, but Kale manages to evade and slam him into the ground as he overextends. Kale is at her limit now and has actually managed to surpass him in his new Super Saiyan Blue transformation. It's time for us to help, Goten and Trunks say, pointing at the enemy. Caulifla arrives behind Kale with two earrings, Potara earrings. She slams one onto Kale's ears but gets elbowed in the process. As she falls back, she puts an earring onto herself and fuses with her best friend. The two fighters fuse and form Kefla, who is able to transform into Super Saiyan 2. Across from them, Goten and Trunks complete their fusion into Gotenks. Allow me to show you a new form of mine, Gotenks says in an arrogant tone. He begins powering up and engulfs in a thin red aura. His eyes turn red and he transforms into the Super Saiyan God form. However, he continues further. His aura shakes the ground and his power exceeds that of even Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Goten and Trunks are hybrid Saiyans, so are able to grow incredibly fast. They are around 5 to 10% the strength of Vegeta now, so with Gotenks they can overpower Super Saiyan Vegeta and go against the likes of even Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, almost equaling out to him. Gotenks reaches his new Super Saiyan form, becoming Gotenks Blue. Yeah, Blue Gotenks. Super Saiyan God Gotenks is more than enough to handle the likes of Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Now with Blue of their own, they are even stronger than that. I'd say they rival Super Saiyan Saiyan Goku right now. That is, if his power level is at natural and stable levels. Whoa, I can totally crush you now. Kefla smirks and says, you sure about that? She powers into her Super Saiyan 2 form and flies right towards Gotenks with immeasurable speed. Gotenks blocks her incoming strike and seems very calm with the attack that just came his way. He does slide back, but no real damage is caused and Gotenks is more than able to hold his ground. Dipping down powerfully and whipping his blue hair in the process, he strikes at her stomach before swinging his body with a lot of power to kick her in the same area. This final attack knocks her back, but she uses his fist cannonball technique. This launches a green energy ball right at Gotenks, and since the ball starts to move its direction of motion, he is caught off guard and is unable to dodge it entirely. As he stumbles back though, Gotenks uses his signature attack, the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. Several ghosts of himself fly right towards Kefla, who is certainly bewildered by the technique. She hasn't seen anything like it. As one approaches her, she runs faster than it and punches it in the face. Much to her surprise, the ghost blows up and launches her into the air. While this is happening, Gotenks is waiting for the perfect opening to finish the fight. Another ghost scurries behind her in flight and explodes when slamming into her. Next, she is hit by two ghosts beside her, causing even more injury across her body. Next, one ghost flies directly at her with determination in its face and slams into her powerfully, exploding once again. As she continues flipping and flying around in the air, Gotenks screams loudly and releases an entire portal. As he does this, two energy balls are growing in his hand. Kefla, as she begins to fall, turns to see Gotenks zoom out of the portal. The exit portal, if you will, is situated right behind her on top of her head, so she is very surprised when she turns to see Gotenks just about to use his attack. Big Tree Kamehameha! Gotenks shouts powerfully, launching the attack at Kefla and slamming her into the ground with immeasurable force. The fusion fighter goes tumbling and falling across the ring, and as soon as she gets caught on the edge of the ring, she is hit by one of Gotenks' spare ghosts and falls off it. Gotenks reverts back into normal Super Saiyan and then breaks apart as a fusion. Good job boys, Gohan says, praising them. Goku, who is still battling with Jiren, is getting extremely tired and exhausted. His power spike has dwindled and his power only continues to dissipate. Jiren, who hasn't been trying all this time, is now ready to end this. Jiren flies towards Goku with speed never seen by anyone of this tournament, not even Vegeta or Dispo. He kicks Goku in the stomach so hard that he reverts to his base and he punches him in his forearm. Gohan slides back a fair distance and has a highly strained arm from that attack. Master Roshi, who was beside him, steps ahead of him and Goku says, "What are you doing?" "Showing you a technique, boy. A technique that can help you beat this guy," he declares, calmly exhaling and making a stance. He runs right at Jiren, who throws a simple punch that far outclasses the abilities of Master Roshi. However, he slips past the attack and leaps over his incoming kick. Jiren gets confused but then irritated as he throws two more punches at the man, not holding back all that much. Master Roshi is still able to just about slip and swerve past these attacks. Ultra Instinct, Goku asks himself in awe. How could his old master use such a technique without any godly training? Jiren then grits his teeth and shouts, "I'm done with this." He punches Master Roshi in the stomach with a close-up hook that howls him out of the ring. As Goku looks back at Jiren, his demeanor is much more calm and controlled. Jiren just speed blitzes him and tries to strike him, but he swerves out of the way, also stepping back a few times. Jiren just throws an uppercut while running forwards, and Goku is able to dodge that one with a backflip this time. As he lands, some of his hairs rise and his eyes change colour to a magnificent silver as he transforms into his Ultra Instinct sign form, or Ultra Instinct Omen for the anime watchers. His aura is cold and so is his vibe. "What is this?" Jiren asks, annoyed that Goku would try to face him in this base form. In a flash, Jiren sprints at his opponent and throws a punch that Goku just ducks under. He follows with two swinging kicks that Goku is just able to jump and swerve away from. Slamming down with all his weight, Jiren strikes the ground, but Goku is able to dodge that attack too. Jiren throws another kick that Goku is just able to loosely evade again. Jiren finishes his number of attacks with just a punch to his face that is also dodged. This might be Ultra Instinct, but he has only mastered the art of defense, not offense, we seduces, staring at their last hope on the battlefield. Surprisingly, many fighters of Universe 7 still remain. Master Roshi has been eliminated, but Android 18 and 17 are still there. Frieza is still there, Goten, Trunks and Gohan are still there too, with Goku and Vegeta. Unlike canon, Universe 7 seem to be the clear powerhouses of all the universes. So that will conclude the 9th part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. I've just realised that I've been scripting really long parts for this What If. This video might actually reach 17 minutes. If so, this video will definitely be my longest What If I've ever uploaded. Well, What If part, not an entire What If, obviously. Tell me something you liked about the video or something that I should improve on for the next part in the comments to make this What If as great as possible. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, it's Anime Bull Z here, and today we're going to be doing the last part, the 10th part to What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. When I mean last, I don't mean absolute last. Once the next few chapters of Dragon Ball Super are uploaded, I'll probably come back to this What If and update it. As of now, this is basically the furthest the Dragon Ball Super manga has gotten to. And before I continue, the Dragon Ball Super manga will continue on in this part. The Dragon Ball Super anime ends in this part too, so if you don't want to see any spoilers from the manga, do not watch this part. Please like the video as it helps with the video's algorithm, and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe when you want. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
One time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay? I had cocaine in the school.
As Jiren throws a hook towards Goku, he drops swiftly and punches him in the stomach with his new Mastered Ultra Instinct or MUI form. Jiren coughs out blood and spit before stumbling sideways. As he does this, Goku kicks him right in the chest and launches him back about 10 meters. Both fighters close a distance and punch each other's fists, breaking the hand of Jiren. Next, Goku swerves his body the other way and lands a precise liver shot, knocking Jiren right off his game. Jiren tries to strike his head, but the godly Saiyan evades the hit with unbelievable speed and kicks him in the side of the throat, making him cough uncontrollably. How could this be? Jiren shouts furiously, releasing a powerful aura and destroying the rock below him. He's using his full power now. Goku doesn't seem fazed and is ready to handle whatever comes his way. Jiren almost appears behind Goku, who just punches him in his nose. As Jiren lands back on the ground, Goku throws a left punch to his abdomen, then jumps up to crash into his chin with his knee. The force shatters the man's jaw and leaves masses of blood to come pouring out of his mouth. The sight isn't pleasing at all, but Goku is simply determined to win. The rest of the Universe 7 fighters just sit to watch their hero take the win for them. They have managed to deal with everyone else since Vegeta is the third strongest fighter here and can definitely handle his own. Drops of blood seep through Jiren's permanently open mouth as it has been basically crushed. "You pest," Jiren mumbles with his deformed jaw. Goku, who cocks back his fist far back, zooms forwards and punches Jiren in the stomach so hard that he slides to the edge of the ring. Goku begins charging up his very own divine Kamehameha, and his companions also charge up energy waves to help with the blast. The scene would bring a tear to someone's eyes. Every person is putting their all into this one attack. Gohan's Kamehameha, Trunks' Big Tree Cannon, everyone's best attack. Now, Goku shouts to his friends, who all release the attack right at Jiren. The burly warrior decides to try and catch every single attack, but in seconds he is pushed off the ring and eliminated. Universe 11 is eliminated and Universe 7 completely dominate the tournament. This is due to some of their members having so much power that others were less affected and involved in their current battles. For example, Piccolo never had to deal with the trio de danger because Gohan was able to take them all out on his own. The wish is given to Universe 7, who wish for all the universes to return. The universes then leave back to their home realms, and some are able to go and train with Beerus again. Goten is stuck at home with Chi-Chi to catch up with his studying, but Trunks is able to go right on to train. As Trunks and Vegeta arrive, Beerus confronts them when everyone else is training. "You two, you both surprised me out in that tournament. I have a certain gift for you." Vegeta raises a brow in confusion since Beerus has never seemed like the type to give out gifts. "I will teach you both something," Beerus states. Trunks, who is now much closer to his father in height, asks, "Teach us what?" "Destruction." Some good time passes, or however much time passes in canon, and the time of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie has come around. I will actually be talking about this movie since it is completely canon. Everything about the movie goes pretty much the same until Broly actually turns Super Saiyan and is forced to face a newly powered Goku. As Broly goes crazy in the new volcanic scenery, Goku powers up past this and reaches his Super Saiyan Saiyan form. He engulfs in a Saiyan pure aura and doesn't hold anything back anymore. Now Goku is around 15 times his canon self's base in his base, with this form also being a 10 times multiplier on Super Saiyan Blue. He is 150 times his canon Super Saiyan Blue self. With this new power, he is much more of a threat to Broly. The raging fighter charges at Goku, but he slips past a punch and punches his stomach extremely hard. It stops his opponent in his tracks and leaves him stunned, even with his blind rage. Goku then kicks him back powerfully and follows after him, zooming through the rocks in his bright aura. Broly slams through an entire rock hill before getting kicked into the air by Goku. The Super Saiyan turns while airborne to try and throw down the Ki Blast, only to get hit by a prepared God Eraser cannon. So Goku is a legendary Super Saiyan and we don't know if more than one can exist. In one universe, that is. Kale is in Universe 6, so there could easily just be one each in the twin universes. If I can or you can find anything to prove this thought process wrong, please tell me and I will promptly switch up the plot. At the end of the day, we don't even know if Kale is an actual legendary Super Saiyan. We don't even know if Broly is either. Their forms could just be similar to Super Saiyan Rage, for example. This means that this is Broly's unfortunate limit. Broly is left weak and injured, stumbling over his feet. Goku just zooms forward with his same pale eyes and punches Broly in the same position he once did, making him revert to his base. Goku, even though he has a much stronger battle instinct from this form, knows when he should stop. He lets Broly go and he is able to be let heal by the remaining Z fighters. Frieza just leaves on his ship, hoping to stir up some more problems in the future for the Saiyans. Also, this means that Broly sticks around a little longer. He has been healed, but he wants to stay for a little while to train with his new Super Saiyan brothers. Anyway, he has nowhere to go back to with his dead father. I'll just say that Chi Lai follows after Broly and sticks around on Earth for a while. Even with this little amount of time, his power level is able to jump far past his once full limit. Goku and Broly are known for their power jumps, and Goku is able to settle a fair distance in strength between the likes of him and Vegeta. He is now around 50% stronger than Vegeta, who is 15 times his Kan himself, so Goku has grown to 22.5 times his Kan himself. This is mainly due to his genetic legendary status as a Saiyan. The Moro arc comes along, and now Meris comes for just Goku and Vegeta. Buu was taken out by the group in the Buu Saga, and so was the Lord of Lords. However, there is quite an easy fix to this dilemma: the Dragon Balls. They don't know of the Lord of Lords or anything yet, so Goku, Vegeta, and actually Broly are taken away by the trainee angel Meris. Meris talks to them about the Lord of Lords and where Buu is. Goku says that he was taken out long ago, but he could easily be wished back by the Dragon Balls. Before they make too much distance between Earth, Goku teleports back and finds the Dragon Balls that they all had but just didn't use. Well, actually, Goku doesn't teleport back, they just go back on the ship, since Goku doesn't have instant transmission in this What If. Goku summons Shenron and promptly asks for Buu to be revived. This shocks the likes of Bulma and Krillin, who are also there. Once he is revived, he then wishes for the fighters to be of good heart, making him not a threat at all. The Dragon Balls then disperse and Goku returns to the spaceship, bringing Buu in the process. This also means that Hercule doesn't have a good relationship with Buu, but it doesn't mean their relationship couldn't brew in the future. However, Buu still ends up sleeping as in the manga, much to Meris' annoyance. They arrive on planet Namek and Vegeta is still first up against Moro. Things go similarly, except he dominates Moro in his god form alone. Moro's gap between Super Saiyan God Vegeta and himself is much larger since he is many times stronger. Moro eventually starts attacking in fury with the life force of the planet and absorbs some of it, making himself appear even younger. Vegeta, now in his base form, starts powering up and only manages to reach Super Saiyan. What's going on? I intended to transform into Super Saiyan Blue. Moro chuckles before clashing with Vegeta. Even if he is 50 times stronger, he is far below Moro and is slammed into some rocks behind him. The two Saiyans still get drained of ki and sleep for 3 days, eventually being healed by the Namekian in a secret location. Moro still has 3 Dragon Balls but ends up facing Buu in battle once he awakes. Buu powers up once he remembers the fighter and flies at him. Moro tries to use a Life Force barricade, but Buu manages to force through it, punching him in the face. Also, Buu's Life Force stays steady since the draining of his Life Force is impossible. Buu eventually takes the upper hand and starts to deal with much more damage with his attacks. Buu kicks him into the ground and slams onto the warrior's ribs, creating 4 extra arms out of his pink mass. He throws several punches in quick succession and heavily injures Moro, sliding him up to the ground towards a rock. Moro just coughs blood after this interrogation, but the sky darkens. Purunga has been summoned. Moro manages to gain his full magic power again and kills his assistant after having used a young Namekian for the wishes. Moro releases all of the convicts that rush across Namek. Goku and Vegeta both ascend into their god forms, but Goku goes into legendary Super Saiyan God, which is a 5th the strength of his Super Saiyan Blue form. Just for your info, Goku is actually weaker than Vegeta overall. Super Saiyan Blue evolution is about twice the strength of Super Saiyan Saiyan, so if Goku is only 50% stronger than Vegeta, their strongest forms means Vegeta still edges him out slightly. Goku and Vegeta take out several convicts with little effort. Goku punches one in the head and Cyril kicks another down to the ground. This convict slams his head, but after the kick, Goku reverts to legendary Super Saiyan. He gets kicked in his back, but is still able to hold his own against the convicts, even in this weakened form. However, he falls back into Super Saiyan and gets punched in the stomach, then hooked across the face. Vegeta is also having a tough time, but then someone arrives. He was quite scared to fight such a strong warrior, but once he sees Goku and Vegeta losing, he arrives and lands ahead of all the soldiers. Broly. Broly's base form is able to handle God Vegeta and he begins shaking the ground with his power up. He transforms into a Super Saiyan and this makes him around equal to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. He dashes through the warriors and breaks them apart with just running. His explosive speed and strength dismantles the convicts swiftly. His rage also aids him in his battle ferocity and fierceness. He kills a convict with a slam but then shoots out a ki blast to his side, following with a heel kick to another. However, he falls out of Super Saiyan and gets punched in the face by a convict. It leaves him a light bruise, but that's all it does really. He knees such convict in the chest, then backhands another convict, before releasing several ki blasts at the remaining fighters. However, each ki blast spewed from his hands is weaker and weaker each time. He is getting weaker in his base form. Goku and Vegeta are still in a troublesome situation, and Vegeta can't think of Yardrat to go to. This is because the group hadn't landed on Yardrat after the Namek saga. Goku doesn't have instant transmission, so he can't easily flee the scene. Broly gets kicked by two warriors and is hurled back towards his other Saiyan comrades. Meris arrives, shooting the criminals from a distance, and Jacko is there to aid too. "We have to get that ship and get out of here," Goku shouts, pointing at the ship in the distance. All three warriors, Goku, Vegeta and Broly, decide to fly off to train with Meris. Goku is the main focus, while Broly will just have to hope his power level has drastic increases as usual. The 5 people leaving the Lord of Lords is able to leave through his intra-transmission ability. The 5 people in the ship leave the planet they were once on and head away from the planet to their HQ. Once they get there, Meris tries to test Broly on his latent abilities, since he is surprised by the power he showcased on the planet they were just on. "Broly, do you have any training in Ultra Instinct?" he asks, swiveling his staff. "No." This reply catches Meris off guard quite a little bit, but it is the truth anyway. It's just very direct and short. "Well then, show me what you've got." Broly grits his teeth and transforms into his Akari form. He finds it somewhat hard to control himself, but finds it easier if he fuels his anger directly into fighting. Broly zooms across the small arena they have made and clashes with Meris. If Broly is 50 times weaker than Super Saiyan Blue Goku, this means he is around equal to Super Saiyan God Goku. Therefore, this places his Akari form at around Goku's legendary Super Saiyan God form. They go blow for blow and Broly seems to be doing quite well. However, Meris is clearly suppressing himself. He swivels his staff and strikes Broly away with one hit. As he is blasted away, he bubbles up with rage and powers up, nearly destroying the arena he is placed in. "Stop, Broly, this place will blow," Goku shouts, holding a pillar beside him. Meris just smirks as he can see the potential in the Saiyan. If this is just a basic Saiyan transformation, he could rival the God of Destruction with God Ki, Meris states, watching his aura slowly die down. On Earth, Shimareka, 7-3 and Yumba arrive through a portal, and 7-3 tries to steal Piccolo's power. However, Piccolo is able to evade slightly before being grabbed. As he sees the beginning of conflict, Piccolo begins using Kaioken times 10 and kicks 7-3 away. Next, a few others arrive: Gohan, Goten and Trunks. Since we saw Krillin tussling with Yumba in the canon, we can safely say that Yumba scales far below these warriors that have just arrived on the lookout. And he does by a lot. I mean, base Gohan in this what if can definitely take out Krillin from the canon, so it's an immediate win for him and his friends. Yumba catches sight of Goten and flies towards him with an arrogant smirk since he thinks he's weak and a child. However, Goten just speed blitzes and kicks a large criminal in the stomach, launching him away and almost killing him really. Once Shimareka sees this, he tries to run away in fear, but Goten just launches a ki blast at him and knocks him out. With 7-3 being the only person left awake and with no power from Piccolo, he's finished. Piccolo steps ahead of all the Saiyans and begins using his incredible powerful aura of a god form. On top of that, the lookout rumbles as he fuses the first form of Kaioken in with aura of a god. This heavily increases his power and makes him more than enough to take 7-3 out. He flies forwards at high speed, then kicks the warrior through the entire lookout. Once this happens, he flies around as to not damage the lookout more than kicks 7-3 sideways. The android gets launched through part of the flying rock and is left to tumble down to the ground. In his last ditch effort, he uses the power of the porcupine-like species he had just encountered. Several quills launch at Piccolo, but he becomes a blur as he dodges every single one with ease. Increasing his speed, he almost immediately catches up to 7-3 and severs his body with a high pressure kick. With the remaining part of the android's body, he swivel kicks him away and launches him through several rocks. "Mr. Piccolo's insane. I couldn't beat him in a fight unless I went God mode," Goten says in admiration of the hard-working Namekian's power. His godlike aura fades and he also rids himself of Kaioken. As Sagambo, the right-hand man of Moro, doesn't hear anything back from the three, he decides to inform Moro of it. After this, Moro decides to send people down there and aid in their mission, as there seems to have been some interference. During this time too, the three Saiyans have fully completed their training and have much more power than before. Vegeta has further developed his destruction powers and is nearing the power of Ultra Ego. His perfected Super Saiyan Blue evolution is now far easier for him to do too. Goku is actually able to use his Ultra Instinct Saiyan form at will, and with this he has surpassed Vegeta by quite a large margin. Also, his base is around quadruple Vegeta, so once again he has been left in the dust by the legendary Super Saiyan. Broly still has unquantifiable levels of strength. He is now capable of Super Saiyan 3 and his base power has skyrocketed. With 6 months of training, his Super Saiyan form now rivals Super Saiyan Saiyan Goku. With Super Saiyan 3, he is easily the second strongest of the 3 Saiyans. Vegeta is lacking behind and he knows this. This makes him more keen to see what powers are out there after this entire event is finished. The 3 warriors are ultra confident now and have tens of times more power than their canon selves, and Merus has far more confidence in them now, especially in Broly. So that will conclude the 10th and last for now part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. Tell me something you liked about the video or something that I should improve on for the next part in the comments. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.